I'm expecting the chats to also work right now as well, which would be fantastic. As one would hope. Okay, we're live on Twitch. So that's a good thing. But are we live on YouTube? Do I need to hit that go live on this thing or something? Okay, so that's just completely busted. That's cool. Okay, we'll just delete that. Well, actually, not cancel. Alright, so at least we're live on a channel. My goodness, you guys, this is annoying as hell trying to figure out the stuff with Restream. Save. It's on regular latency, and I apologize for that, but it is where we're at right now. Just copy over a bunch of metadata over here, so then they're working as intended. So people can actually find the stream when they search for content that I create on YouTube. Imagine being able to do that. Restream's so great. Chris, what's up, man? How you doing? And I am having nothing but problems today trying to get the stupid Restream stuff to work. It's fantastic. But at least we're live. I got that working. The thumbnail looks like garbage, but you know, we're at where we're at right now. Let me try to update that real quick. Like, it's not confusing. It's just like sometimes some wires are not crossed properly, if that makes sense. Like, for some reason, like, YouTube was just not connecting. It was like, oh, it's still connected to your stream that you quit, like, last week. And I'm like, why? Why are you doing this to me, YouTube? Why you be like this? And YouTube's like, hey, man, we're just doing the best we can over here. We're only owned by a multi-billion-dollar company that has all your data. But I think we got it working now. What's up, Roland? I like the straight emblems, by the way. Might have some news about that coming soon, but I don't want to give away the game quite yet. Things are still early on that, but just saying, I don't know, keep an eye out. Things were signed. Alright. Here, I'm going to do a little bit of cheesy YouTube stuff. So I gotta say, like, can we get 50 likes? Or say, like, if we get 50 likes on the stream, then I will like you back. Heart. Okay. Hey, it's a slight AO, a little AO. Nothing too crazy. Don't get your hopes too high when it comes to that stuff. But well, some things were in the works a little bit there. But yeah, so I kind of wanted to hop on today since, like, I was like, okay, well, this is a little bit of a slower news day, and I wanted to have something to go out, and I haven't live streamed in a while just because my schedule in life has just been all over the place the last week or so. I'm like, okay, today I actually have some time. I can sit down, live stream, and chat with the boys and girls, talk with the community, interact with people. You know, don't be some just face that people that yells at you about video games for 10 minutes at a time. Would you please think of the poor billionaire companies? Zesty KevinKoolx before GTA 6? But what about GTA 6? Is there something in releasing about GTA 6 today or something that I just wasn't aware of? Or did something just drop? I had some ideas of what I wanted to chat about today, at least. You know, I wanted to talk about some of the recent Halo news that's going on, where, like, it's a bunch of small stuff that's been going on with Halo that, like, doesn't really warrant its own video. Especially with, like, the freaking disastrous news stories we've been receiving over the past 2 weeks. You know? Oh my god. Which actually, yeah, my last video was actually kind of doing all right for itself. I love how it's like almost a 12-minute long video and I talk about Halo for like 2 minutes on it. It made me feel really proud about myself. As the whitest guy I know, Kevin, what are your thoughts on Drake versus Kendrick? I haven't listened to the epic poetry battle that's been going on between the two. It's some Halo Infinite multiplayer stuff. The thing is that I don't really care for Drake's music. If anything, the best Drake song I've ever heard was an AI Drake song. That was made like a year ago. I don't know if you guys ever heard the AI Drake song, but like it slaps. And then, well, you know, I've listened to a few Kendrick songs, right? I listened to, well, mainly like I listened to his hits that are on Spotify. You know, now the thing I listened all the way through. Oh god, what's the album? Is the album just called Damn? Well, it has, at least it says it on the cover, right? I feel like every time I get into like, yo, Abby!
OMG 30 months pog.
Oh my god, very pog indeed. That's a celebration warranted right there. Right? Let me gotta go to the screen to do this. We gotta celebrate. No, wait, that wasn't it. We gotta go to the screen then. Celebrate it. Yes! Thank you very much, Abby, again, for the insane amount of months you've been following the channel here. Far too crazy. But yeah, the album Damn, yeah. I listened to that one all the way through, and that's a good album. I feel like every time I get into like an artist, like a rap artist, it's always like super late in their career, and everyone's like, oh, it's not as good as their older stuff. Now I'm like, well, I want to be cool. That definitely happened to me with Logic, because I listened to Logic with when he had that when his album came out. What was it called? The song had Keanu Reeves on it, and I thought that song was fun, but and then like he releases that album, and then he just retires, and I'm like, what the hell, man? Was it that album? Let's see. Or how do I look up album or this albums? I'm gonna look it up here on Spotify. Albums. Confessions. Yeah, I guess he had another album come out after that. Okay, well, I just wasn't aware. Or a couple albums. Yeah, Confessions of a Dangerous Mind. I thought that album had some fun stuff into it. Like, it definitely had some good songs. I thought it had some good songs in it, but everyone's like, oh, it's not as good. Yeah, I'm more of a rocker. What's up, Teleporter? By the way, talking about rock music, I do have an audition for a Southern rock tribute band later today, which I should be practicing, but I feel pretty confident. Pimp a Butterfly, yeah, I've heard about that one, yeah. And yeah, like, I never heard a Drake song that I really liked, but I've definitely heard Kendrick songs I've liked. So whatever Kendrick has to say, I'm on his side. Joe Biden killed Halo. Hey, Jack. All right, Jack. Listen here. All right. You got Master Chief, right? And then you're just not gonna, like, continue the story? What are you guys doing over there? Huh? What are you guys doing? No way, actually Freebird is one of the songs I have to learn to play, but the problem is I don't have like a slide. I lost my slide. I can use this thing, I guess. Maybe it's a slide. Probably not. No, I couldn't, because it's like lined with plastic. But been trying to learn how to play Freebird without a guitar slide, which has been pretty tricky. Oh man. But we're doing it's a bunch of, they just had me learn a bunch of Tom Petty songs and a bunch of Leonard Skinner songs. Apparently they do a bunch of other things. I think they do like a ZZ Top song as well, which I think it's Sharp Dressed Man, which I know how to play that one as well. But yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to playing that. It sounds like we'll be playing festivals and casinos and casino gigs, man. If you don't know about the music, cover band rounds, like casino gigs, they drop cash. Casino got money. If you can play at a casino, you're getting paid pretty well. Give us a sample of guitar, please. Here, I actually recorded. So I also have this other gig band I'm part of called the Random Rockers, and it's a real casual group of people who just like don't want to dedicate themselves to a full band, but like playing live music. And so we recently played this show up in Everett here in Seattle area, and it was like my first like legit stage. It felt really cool to play. But here, I'll show you what the skills on display here, at least.
Yes. Mr. Crowley.
The sound guy had my guitar super quiet throughout this entire show. Yeah, see? Kind of cool, right? My timing was so off in this song, though. Bro, you rock! I love doing this song. This is one of my favorite guitar solos of all time. So when they're like, I was like, you guys want to do Mr. Crowley? They're like, yes. I'm like, yes! Let's see if I get the... KevinKoolx. There's already a couple of Tool tribute bands in the area. I've been wanting to do a Linkin Park tribute band. I think that'd be fun. This song has so many. This song has 3 guitar solos on it. It's kind of crazy. And like, here's what better. Here's a big part. Yo, Sky, how you doing, man? Thanks for coming by, dude. Hello, Hector. I love this solo so much. It's a rockstar moment right there. Dude, the guy who does the lighting at this venue, is on point, man. Yeah. Of course, I gotta throw in like the harmonic with the whammy bar on there as well. Had to. Gotta give it to him, you know. And just another thing, one more thing on this, this next show I'm doing on the 18th, it's actually at a roller derby, and we're like the intro band, like the halftime show. And I thought it would be a really fun thing to do Hit Me Baby One More Time, but like a metally hard rock version of it. And so I recorded the version of it with like me singing and doing like it was just the audio of it, but I thought it would be a fun thing to do here. But like you can hear it right here. We're Do you live stream your performances?
something wasn't right here.
But I did last time. I did at that show. I live streamed it on Twitch, but then I messed up the audio. I didn't lower the audio sensitivity on the phone, and so it was just like it was blown out like crazy. But next time, I'll definitely try to live stream again, and it'll be on Twitch if I do a live stream.
Is killing me, and I must confess, I still believe.
Do I gent? I can't gent that well.
Give me a sign. Hit me, baby, one more time.
Get it on iTunes. Here's a guitar solo I added onto the song. That's me singing. I didn't get the low part. The bad part was we tried this at practice on Tuesday and I completely screwed it up.
I shouldn't have let you go. But I must confess that my loneliness is killing me now.
This stream, my YouTube stream is gonna be claimed so quickly.
I still believe that you will be here and give me a sign. Hit me, baby, one more time. My loneliness is killing me, and I must confess.
But yeah, so doing a little bit of that stuff recently, and then yeah, it's like I gotta try out. I got an audition today for a Southern rock tribute band that hopefully pays well. If it the guy that I've been talking with, who's like the band leader, is like, "Oh yeah, we won't do gigs unless we get like $1,000 from it." I'm like, all right. Yeah, he talks a big game. He seems to have connections, but we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, Eddie, how you doing, man? That's what I would ask. Yeah, I mean, this guy at the Southern Rock Tribute Band, like he talks a big game, seems to have connections, but we'll see. I couldn't imagine us getting into like summer festivals this late, but I don't know, maybe he knows people. I mean, I'd be down to pay to play. Yeah, right. Of course, Eddie, you just be like, as long as I can just play Creed while I'm on stage. Like, if I could just do an hour set of Creed, then perfect. Eddie would be like, I'll drop $200 to have people watch me play Creed on stage. He's like, I will take this crowd higher. Absolutely. But yeah, so I'm trying to figure out like a hard rock metal version of Baby One More Time. And the drummer in the band's like, so how would you want me to play this? I'm like, dude, just go off and have fun with it. And if it sounds over the top, you're probably doing it right. You know? We practiced it the other night, and he was like just doing some crazy stuff, and I'm like, it sounds so over the top and kind of out of place, but like, just like, why not? Like, we're playing Baby One More Time, but like a hard rock version of it. So like, let's just have fun with it, you know? You know, flex your skills if you can. Worth it for the disgusting guitar riff. This is part of the song where we get into the details. Yes. Hit me, baby, one more time with the details. But yeah, I guess, okay, so I'm sure a lot of you guys are here for like the Halo stuff, right? Let's talk about the Halo stuff, right? Recently, a former Hate 343 dev actually talked about Last Spartan Standing, right? That mode that people seem to really like, but then no one played, apparently. And Zach Boyce here recently went up onto Twitter kind of talking about it, because it was a reply to Surasia saying that we aren't ready for this conversation, but IMO Last Spartan Standing was the most innovative mode in Halo Infinite. And that's true. Like, Last Spartan Standing, there was something there. There was a really good base that you could probably add on to the game that would be freaking awesome, right? And I'm not here to talk about Halo things. But I felt like Last Spartan Standing had a really good potential, but it wasn't really fully realized. And the former Halo Infinite developer over here, who was kind of in charge of like a lot of game modes and stuff like that, actually just retweeted this, saying it really needed some quality of life updates and some time to address feedback before it made a reappearance. Hope it does. And at the time, we thought of limited modes, limited time seasonal stuff as experimental, which felt freeing. Was super stressful making something so quickly, but looking back on it, it was fun. And I definitely got that feeling. I think we all got that kind of feeling, right, when it came to just like the seasonal content that went back when Halo did seasons. That like they didn't really feel like the game modes were like fully cooked, right? But they felt like there were kind of people just developers trying things out, see what could work. And I totally agree with them on this as well, though, saying like it definitely needs some quality of life improvements and some feedback updates as well before it was brought back. Like if they just brought back Last Spartan Standing again, it would just be dead on arrival. And so I kind of replied to him on Twitter saying like I appreciate the insight. I felt like there was a great foundation for the mode. I guess it wasn't played enough from what Sketch told us. Duo's version would have been interesting, because I think that mainly like probably the main reason why a lot of people don't play it is because a lot of casual people, from my experience of playing Halo, keeping an ear to the ground of what people are playing, what they like about it, that casual players just don't really care much for free-for-all when it comes to Halo, because like, oh, you stole my kill. You know, you put three or four shots of a battle rifle into somebody and someone else picks them off with a headshot. You're like, hey, that was mine. Why'd you do that? You know, and I think that's what the main thing that really kind of hurt the mode. And I think also having like the set loadouts made the gameplay repetitive pretty quickly. But he actually replied to me on Twitter, which was actually kind of cool. Then my personal feeling was we shouldn't put it back without iterating on some things the community had given feedback on. The player population playlist stuff is kind of self-defeating thing in my opinion, but I get why he said that. And it makes sense too, right? Like if no one's playing it, why put that effort into playing the game? But of course then it was one of those things where it's like, maybe if you brought in some iteration on it and some community feedback, that could have been a really awesome mode. There was something there. People have always talked about what would a battle royale play like in Halo. That was basically a battle royale in Halo, created by the developers. You could search in matchmaking. That wasn't exactly the battle royale we had in mind, but I think it was, again, like something they probably just were like, we only have like so much time. How can we make a battle royale like game that's not within a certain amount of time? That's probably the best option that they had, which was a pretty creative option, I would say. I really hope to see Last Spartan Standing come back, which, by the way, in that most recent Halo Infinite trailer that just went live, that it actually showed Last Spartan Standing as like a cool mode you can play in Halo, which no one's really played it since season 2, I think, is when that came in. Let me type in the Halo channel, because it gave you like a list of different like cool game modes you can play in Halo. I know it's like still available within like custom games and stuff like that, but I mean, people aren't really gonna be playing. People haven't really played a whole lot of custom games within Halo Infinite, to be honest. I mean, the custom game browser is kind of quiet. Or is it? So I can show you what we're talking about. Yeah, right here. If we can pause this screen real quick, like you can see right here. You got like Slayer, Total Control, Oddball, Attrition, Capture the Flag, Keep the Hill, Tactical Slayer, Escalation Slayer, Elimination, Stockpile, Team Snipers, and Last Spartan Standing, Covert, One Flag, Land Grab, BTB Heavies, and Strongholds. And I was like, okay. And then right after that, they started showcasing like like what, battle across 70 plus maps, majority of those being made in Forge. And then it was showcasing, like, I don't know what this is all about. Like they're trying to hint at some new mode coming in or something. But what is it like right here? Then they started showcasing like the battle royale that you can make. Which, did the Forge Falcons make this map in Halo Infinite? I thought the Forge Falcons made like the other one. Maybe this is one of the maps that they made for battle royale. They made like a city environment, and then like this ultimate tower defense one with like AI just kind of runs through. But this is kind of another topic I want to touch on a little bit later in the stream as well. Or we can just talk, or I think we can just talk about it now, whatever, you know what I mean? Yeah, let's just talk about it. So, my first thoughts when it came to this trailer, when it came to Halo Infinite releasing this trailer, which ultimately I think the trailer was freaking sick. Like, this trailer is awesome. They did a great job of showcasing what the game has to offer now and what you can actually do in Halo Infinite. You know, people might not be super aware of, like, hey, like, check out all these cool things you can do within the game now. And Halo Infinite's really come a long way from the launch of it to where it is right now. I just feel like a lot of momentum of Halo Infinite has died off since they announced that they're no longer doing seasons and doing operations, and operations are basically store updates with like some minor additions here and there, like a new Forge map or something like that, you know, but nothing really too crazy as like, you know, nothing really like thematically different or anything that makes you really change your gameplay of playing Halo Infinite whenever a new season or operation comes in, right? It's really kind of the same experience with like a little bit of extra thing, shop update. We got the exchange now in the most recent operation update, and you know, we got a couple of Forge maps that came in, but other than that, it's really kind of the same experience where you're still jumping in, you're playing Team Slayer, you're jumping in, you're playing in rank, you're playing BTB again and again and again. There really isn't much in the way of things that you can play that are new within Halo at the moment, which feels like it just like that's the main thing Halo Infinite and just Halo in general, honestly, I feel like it's really kind of struggling with, is the fact that like it's just kind of the same experience over and over again. And then even if a new experience does come into Halo, that it just feels like it's kind of a rehashed experience that we have had for the last 20 plus years of the franchise, which I know that like a lot of people will say that, oh, we need to have this mode in Halo because it's core to the Halo experience, like Griffball or something like that, or Husky Raid and things of that nature. But then it's all kind of the same things that we've been playing over and over and over and over again, but then this time in Halo Infinite. And it just doesn't really excite me that much as a hardcore Halo player, right? Like, guys, I've been keeping up with Halo content since, I don't know, 10 plus years now at this point. Like, it's been a hot minute. And, like, I've been a dedicated Halo channel since, what, the Master Chief Collection? Since Halo 5, really? Since, like, 2015, 2014? And so, like, I don't know, maybe I'm just like been too much into the weeds of Halo I'm not able to enjoy things that come to Halo that have been in the franchise previously, right? Because maybe I just played too much. That could be the case, where I'm just like overly saturated with just Halo things in my brain right now. So whenever they bring back things like Husky Raid back into the game, I'm like, that's cool for a day. You know, I'll play it, but I was like, yeah, I've played it before back in Halo 4, played it back before in Halo 5, and also like in MCC as well, you know. It's kind of like, man, I'm really just craving something new with Halo. But kind of round it back to this trailer though, right? For me, watching this trailer, it's like, it's odd that it gets released now, because it just gives me a feeling that this is what Halo is going to be from now on, when it comes to Halo Infinite. And I'm just getting maybe it's just me kind of imparting my own experience with Halo Infinite and putting my biases in this, but I feel like this is kind of like this is what Halo is going to be in the future, guys, and this is going to be like kind of like the last permanent trailer, so like it will stand the test of time of what Halo has to offer for people, right? And because mainly because I don't think we've really had like this is Halo trailer since the launch of the game, if I'm correct about this, right? Like there hasn't really been like a trailer that showcases everything you can do within the game since the launch. And that's, I mean, it's probably amazing because like there's been so many key features that have been coming into Halo Infinite over the past 2.5 years now at this point, right? Yeah, 2.5 years, almost 3 years now. That like it's it would be tough to advertise the game when every feature or every game mode you expect to be in Halo isn't in there at the moment, like Infection, or really all the game modes that they showcase right here, right? Like, okay, maybe not like Infection. They showed Extraction, which again, it's kind of like a Halo 4 mode. That was kind of cool, but nothing too crazy. Husky Array, which is another classic mode. Super Fiesta, which has been in Halo since Halo 3, if I remember correctly. Squad Battle, which is just regular BTB. Firefight, which is a mode that people expect to be in Halo. All these other modes as well, which are most of them are, some of them are, well, actually probably about half of these are actually kind of like new modes, right? Or a third of them are new modes, but you know, or there's just variations of what's already been in the game. Like the only thing that's really technically new in this list of modes that's for Halo Infinite would be like Attrition, Last Spartan Standing, and that's I guess Escalation Slayer, but that was kind of an MCC, but it wasn't really. I don't know. I guess you can count Escalation Slayer as like a game mode. Like don't believe it was in Halo 5, if I remember correctly. Or in Total Control as well. So you got some new modes, but most of them are just kind of chasing the old feels that you had previously. But it just feels like an odd time for this trailer to kind of come into existence and trying to flex of what you can do within Halo. Like you're even trying to flex like custom games that people have wanted to make in Halo, but you have to play through a custom game browser, like the Battle Royale, Tower Defense Ultimate, the Silent Cartographer remade within Halo Infinite, which is Nikos did an amazing job on this. I think I have a video on my channel playing this, if I remember correctly. But there was a lot of really cool recreated CE modes or maps and other campaign modes. And they advertised the fact that you can play split screen multiplayer on console as well. I know a lot of people want to see it on PC, but let's be real, like how many people are playing PC split screen? Not many. Of course, it could be one of those things like the chicken and the egg thing, where it's maybe that, you know, not a lot of people are playing PC split screen because it's never really an option, or people don't really think of it as an option. But it's like if Halo offers this, like play PC split screen, it would be like the only like game out there that really has it as an option. But I don't know, like I just feel like this trailer was kind of like almost like a final send off to advertise Halo. It'd be like, all right, guys, the game's content complete. We have an XP system now as well, right? And now we have billions of armor customization options compared to millions that we had at the launch of the game. But again, kind of failed to mention, a lot of that's tied behind the shop, you know, but there are things you can unlock by just playing the game, obviously, with the previous battle passes and things like that. And if you buy into any of the operation passes, I think having like one free armor set for an operation for 20 tiers, I think it's a fair offer to players, right? But it just seems like all the customization that you can get when or I shouldn't say all because it's not, but it's like 90% of the customization per operation is tied behind a paywall. You're not really providing players an option to grind for that content, right? Because because you can't really earn in-game currency by just playing a game like you can with like Call of Duty or something like that, right? You can now earn currency through the exchange, but that's all content that was already available for you to unlock that was tied either behind like an event that's not coming back, or a promotion that we know it's not happening again, like with like, I don't know, like Red Bull or Monster or whatever nail polish company they're working with, right? Or maybe it wasn't in your region and stuff like that. And they have some new content there as well, but just like crazy expensive, like the new coding. But you know, I already talked about that here on the channel at length. But it just feels like this trailer is kind of like a final send off. So this is Halo Infinite extended multiplayer trailer, and yeah, almost got 100,000 views on it, which is kind of cool. Yeah, the top comment on this one too is like it kind of hits as well with the top comment on this saying, just imagine the hype if this was day one content trailer, right? Oh, I mean, that's gonna be the general story of Halo Infinite, of it just being like a what if story, what it should have been. But that's what literally every player feels about Halo Infinite. Even the developers feel like that about Halo Infinite as well. It's like, man, if only kind of thing. There was so much potential. It was doing everything so right, and the gameplay was great. Campaign was great, but then like this live service just was not ready. The game was not ready for a live service, and it was just the biggest downfall about it. And then like was slow to updates, right? Like BTB was broken for how many months after the launch of the game? What, like the game launched in December and it broke like that month, right, or something? Didn't get fixed for months, and that was like supposed to be like the big mode, right? Bigger BTB. That's the new cool mode, right? Ish, because it's like BTB hadn't launched with Halo since Halo 4, which is just wild to think about. But hey, we are where we are, kind of thing. But I don't know. It's something just feels a little weird to me about this trailer. Does anyone else feel like that when it comes to this trailer being revealed? I'm sure many of you guys have seen it as well, right? When it comes to what this trailer does, like it feels odd to release it just kind of out of the blue now, trying to showcase like all the different weapons, you know, models you can basically pay for, right? Some of them you can earn by just playing. Showcasing the max rank reward with the Master Chief armor set, which is cool. Infinite ways to win, right? Showcasing in some of these gameplay moments that they choreographed were really freaking cool. Like how many times they have to run through that to land that perfect. Like this series of events is just insane that they're able to choreograph this properly. Cinematically, it looks amazing as well. I'm sure the way they cut it, they probably had to cut multiple takes together to make it look like it actually works. But like the trailer itself is freaking fire. Like it's awesome. But I don't know. It just, does anyone else feel weird about it, or is that just me? Am I the only one that feel weird about this trailer coming out now? Why do you feel Xbox is doing bad marketing sales when, and why do you think it's so expensive for you now? I'm fine with helping my family. Are you saying that like the prices within the store are a little too high and they're kind of pricey, but like you want helping the family as like the 343 side of things? Is that what you're kind of referring to there, Eric? I'm a little confused. Did you see the audio story about the Banished Spartan? I started listening to it, but honestly I just kind of lost interest. I'm not gonna lie. Kind of felt it was like it's like, because like any kind of story that happens within Infinite, I'm just kind of like, it's just like some side story that's not ultimately going to tie into the game or any kind of thing. It's more just like external context to things that could happen. Like the idea of a Banished Spartan is kind of cool. You know, I could imagine some Spartans being treated poorly by the UNSC, right? And defecting to the Banished, right? Maybe they're like, hey, they were the Banished, right, kind of thing. Yeah, because I just think of like, would a U.S. soldier out there, you know, defect to the Al Qaeda or like some kind of anti-U.S. government entity? Possibly, I could see that happening. So why would it happen to a Spartan, right? I think a lot of people kind of like hated on the audio story here, mainly just because it's like we get so many of these like external stories about Halo, right? The Halo adjacent stories, not involving like Master Chief and Cortana and Keys, and or like Keys, but like Master Chief, Cortana, Lasky, and all these characters that people like. And we keep getting all these little side stories about characters we have no establishment of, that we don't really know more about. I mean, it does tie into Eshram in some way, which is cool. But again, Eshram is a new character with Infinite that was more just kind of like a guy sitting on the sidelines the whole time until the very end. So we don't really have that like connection with Eshram, but I thought he was a really great character within Halo Infinite's campaign. But I think people are just kind of wanting like a story with like the characters that we love. Like we want more content with Master Chief. We want more content with the weapon. Even I would say it's a great character that was made within Halo Infinite that we would love to see more about. And I think anybody who's kind of like trashing this story, which seemed like a pretty good story, right? But I don't know, just like I kind of lost interest on it. I think also just like the whole tagline I kept, that was kept being repeated within this audio story of like, nobody kills, wait, what's the character's name here? Does it say right here? Yeah, nobody kills Ilsa Zane. And it's like, I felt like that was a bit of a cheesy line. Like, yeah, anybody can, right? We've seen Spartans die. We saw it happen within the game itself. It's very possible that Ilsa Zane could die. Just because you don't want it to happen, just because you say no one does it, doesn't mean it can happen. So like that line doesn't really hold. It was supposed to be kind of like a big tagline, I felt like, with the presentation of this entire story, but it just didn't like hold the weight that I think it was supposed to have, mainly because like, yeah, you definitely can die, Ilsa Zane. Like, it's definitely a possibility. Don't kid yourself. You're not immune. You definitely can die. you know. And so, and like, I know this is just going to be like an isolated one-off story that's not going to tie into anything that we've had from all the other previous Operation seasonal stories, right? They're also apparently connected to Halo Infinite in some capacity when it comes to expanding the story of the game. But it's just another isolated thing within the in universe of Infinite. And it's just gonna stay. I just know this storyline is just gonna stay there. So it doesn't get me invested. Why should I get invested in a story that's not gonna be tied into the Halo universe as a whole, right? It just doesn't really. That's why it doesn't really interest me a whole lot. Same kind of reason why like the Halo show doesn't really interest me a whole lot. Because like, why do I need to get invested with the Halo show when I know it's not gonna be tied into Halo? Which is such a weird sentence to say, but it's kind of true. So that was kind of my rant on the audio story. It's a really cool thing. I'm glad it's happening for all the people who are really loving the Halo stories, right? For anyone who like loves diving into like all the Halo books and things like that, you probably will love this little short audio story. But just from my experience as a casual lore person who can appreciate the lore of Halo, but like more in a casual way, you just kind of go like, it's cool, I guess. You know, the same thing like we got with like the Eagle Strike core, that text-based story. Same thing with like what the character from the Headhunter character, Din, right? Like, I actually kind of like the idea of the character, and then I think his story was actually kind of get set up pretty well because it was all like brought up in the game, and it was talking about how it could tie back into the expansion of Halo Infinite story, right? Because that was the initial idea of like these seasonal events would be like additional stories to help kind of build up around the events that happen within the campaign to kind of add more context to what's happening to eventually tie into the campaign that you're actually going to play. That was the original idea, but of course that didn't happen. But that's why I was getting invested with like the season 1 and season 3 storylines. So I'm like, oh, this could tie back into the story and do some really cool things, right? Or like it was, even then it was tied into the multiplayer experience with like with Eratus, right? Infecting Spartan's armor sets, to kind of taking over the bodies, becoming zombie-like, which would bring into infection into the game. And so that was a really cool way to tie it into the gameplay experience. So that's why I was getting, personally, as a casual lore fan, I was getting invested with that kind of stuff. But as these kind of these one-off kind of separated stories, talking about like a banished Spartan, again, a really cool concept. Could be a really cool idea if it would find somebody to kind of tie that into the game in some capacity. That would get me invested with it. But having it being like a one-off story that I just have a very strong feeling it's not going to see the light of day ever again, or maybe a random reference here or there, is what would really stops me from, spending the time to really listen and conceptualize and take in that story, if that makes sense. It was very well done. Don't get me wrong, very well done. And I like that that's happening for the people out there who like the extended lore of Halo. But for me, it just wasn't made for me. That's the thing. And not everything about Halo needs to be made for me, Just because I don't find it that engaging doesn't mean it's not good. Maybe you'll be reintroduced into the next Halo game. Well, technically, it's a she, actually. Okay. Way to misgender there, dude. No. Just killing Delta. Man, maybe if they do get reintroduced, then I'll come back and listen to that story to kind of get the backstory of what's going on with it, you know? Yeah, let me catch up with chat a little bit here. I went off the rails a little bit there. Unable to be. How long do you think they need to wait for the next Halo to have everything on launch? That's going to be a new Halo game, like if you're thinking like a full, like basically if Halo Infinite right now re-released, or like the state of what Halo Infinite is in right now, minus all the weird bugs and networking issues and whatever weird stuff is going on, content-wise. All stuff that's in Halo Infinite, adding in the match composer as well. That launched as a Halo game. I would say at least a 3-year development cycle. If everything went perfectly. But I'd say a 3 to 5 year development cycle for that. And I just don't think Halo should do that. Personally, unable. My hopes for the next Halo game, or I don't even say Halo game, next Halo experience. I want it to be something that's more refined, something that's more specific about Halo. The way that what I mean by that is that I want it to be like not even like a full Halo game. I want the next Halo experience to be like a specific mode that is worthy of a standalone experience, if that makes sense. Think of it like my idea of what I would like to see is just have a standalone Halo experience that's like one mode that has like probably a live service elements to it, because let's face it, Halo Infinite fits into a live service model. It was just executed poorly with Halo Infinite. Well, I shouldn't say executed poorly. It's like they tried the best that they could with what they had. And that wasn't up to the standards of what people have right now when it comes to live service games. That's how I should phrase that. Because the main thing is, like, when I look at like the most popular games out there, right? And I talked about this previously. I think I actually made a video about this as well. But if you look at the most played shooters on console, right? So we can look at this right here for like Xbox most played games. But like, yeah, some of these other games have these other shooters out there have other modes. I completely understand that. I'm not being ignorant, trying to make a straw man argument out of this, but I'm saying that when you look at these top shooter games, they're all known for their one mode, right? Fortnite being the battle royale. Yes, I know it has creation tools, it has custom games, it has all these other kind of things. I get it. But what's really real here, it's known for the battle royale mode. Call of Duty is known for the battle royale mode. Yes, it has a full suite multiplayer with a campaign and all that stuff in between. But people play for the people are playing for the multiplayer, and the multiplayer as in being the battle royale. Rainbow Six Siege, I haven't really delved too much into it, but I do know that it's mainly known for its attack defense mode of trying to save the hostages, right? Kind of like Counter-Strike in a way, but with hostages instead of a bomb, if that makes sense. Or maybe it has attack defense bomb mode, but basically it's known for one team attacking, one team defending, and you have maybe some other kind of low objectives that kind of mix up the gameplay a little bit, right? But it's known for that. Then you scroll down to Apex Legends, the next big shooter that's out there. It's known for the Battle Royale. Again, I know it has other modes. It's known for the Battle Royale. And the only other the first shooter I say that's kind of more of a catch-all shooter would be Destiny 2 that comes up right there. And then Destiny 2 is mainly known for like its online PvE experience, right? You have strikes, raids, all that kind of stuff, right? But put most of its effort into raids and strikes and that PvE experience. Yeah, there is multiplayer, there is a campaign, but people play for that PvE experience. If you scroll down more, looking for the next like shooter out there, and then you have Halo Infinite right there. Halo Infinite, I think, is mainly known for being kind of like a catch-all experience, though, right? It's not really known specifically for what it can do. Yeah, Team Slayer is probably its most popular mode out there, but you know, it has a great campaign. People love it for the campaign. People love it for the big people love it for the BTB, the 4v4 modes and stuff like that. But the problem is that, like, I think the biggest issue with Halo as a franchise, they had like a bit of like this I'll just use the term power creep, which is like a terminology used when it comes to games like Destiny or games like Diablo, I've seen this happen also with like shooters like Call of Duty as well when it comes to like the weapons they release. Very funny, dude. That's like every time they release something, it needs to be like bigger and better than the last thing, which generally means like, oh, look how much more stuff you can kill with this new gun or this new ability and things like that. And your abilities keep creeping and creeping to the point where like you're just becoming insanely overpowered. You're just one-tapping everything in your way, you know? Just because they keep trying to up the ante to make you excited about wanting to play the next expansion, next bit of content drop. And I feel like that kind of thing happened with Halo with more features. Like it had a bit of a feature creep that came in with the game because CE, right, was just known for the campaign and 4v4 multiplayer, a little bit of BTB, but mainly known for like the LAN custom game experience. So then you need to make sure custom games are great. And you need to make sure the campaign is great for the next Halo game. The next Halo game had online as well, so you need to make sure that was great. And they did a fantastic job with the limited time they had with Halo 2. Halo 3, they're like, hey, we could take those same things, right? Add some more things onto it, make, bells and whistles, but basically keep that core experience. And they're like, let's add on Forge. Let's add on a theater mode. Let's also add on file shares and stuff like that for more community features. And so then that became a core experience of Halo. And then you released ODST, which had Firefight, was chasing the trend of the round-based multiplayer horde mode experience, right? That was really big during Gears of War 1 and 2. And so then that became a core experience, which they added into Reach. And then Reach also had all those same features from all the previous games, but they're like, let's also expand on the armor customization as well. Let's also change up the campaign a little bit to be more co-op and stuff like that as well. Let's expand on Forge. Let's expand on the campaign. Let's expand on the multiplayer side of things as well. Expand on the custom game features. And that's why I feel like Halo Reach is still like that golden standard of what like a content complete Halo game is. But the thing is that like the reason why we got to that point with Reach is because they kept adding onto the game. Right? They weren't trying to reinvent the wheel. They weren't trying to completely change the gameplay of Halo. Like when you were playing Halo CE through Reach, it was Halo, right? For the most part, like some different weapons here and there. Some movement might have been a little bit better, a little snappier, things like that, but it wasn't like trying to completely change the gameplay mechanics. So they did a little bit of that with Reach with the armor abilities, but again, that was more of a addition that they added on to the core experience of Halo. Where like with 343 came in, they're like, let's completely revamp everything, right? Start from the ground up, forget everything you know about Halo. And that was a big issue I think that 343 has been running into, is like every game that they've been releasing has been trying to reinvent the wheel, starting from the ground up and completely revamping the gameplay, completely revamping the art style, completely revamping the models that you experience Halo through, right? Like live service and open world and stuff like that. And 343 just needs to figure out a way to be more additive. And so kind of round it back to what I was talking about earlier, right? About the next Halo game, right? They're unable to be. That I think time is of the essence right now when it comes to the next Halo experience. And we can't wait another 6 years between Halo titles. Like that's just not an option, right? You don't want there to be an entire decade of just one Halo game of Halo Infinite. So I think with time being of the essence, I think the best thing that 343 could do is make a standalone Halo experience, pseudo ODST kind of thing, where it's like not like a full game, but like its own standalone experience. And what I would love to see happen with that would be like basically Halo Wars, but a first-person shooter version, where you have all these crazy vehicles and Spartan type abilities, weapons in like a live service type of model, but it's just like that mode, right? Just insane large scale, like 64 player mode where like everything's player controlled, using banshees, maybe even a scarab as well to be kind of a team effort kind of weapon or vehicle kind of thing, and make that. So it wouldn't really be anything that's like campaign or anything like that. I'd probably even just cut theater. I would cut Forge from it as well. It'd just be like its own standalone experience. And as long as you communicate that properly to the fan base, I think that's something that could actually work with Halo, to be there's like a standalone singular game mode that sounds really awesome, right? Like because people love Halo. People like Halo Wars. Like, it's been received rather well, and I think the biggest thing that was drawback from the Halo Wars franchise is it being like an RTS game compared to the normal experience we have with Halo of being a first-person shooter, right? Like, if I look up here to like Halo Wars to like Metacritic, whatever you pronounce it, however you spell it. There we go. Right here, you can see that it received 79% on here. It's not too shabby. That's a pretty good score, you know, for an RTS Halo game. I think, what about the original Halo Wars? That one got an 82, so they've been received well. Like, they're not bad games at all. People like them. And I think it would be crazy if you can find a way to bring that into like a first-person shoot around. Basically, think of like what Battlefield is like, but for Halo. I mean, we've also seen 343, not even 343, back in the day, Bungie, they experimented with this as well back in the day. If we do like what, Halo Reach, Global Battle, right? Global Battle, I think, was meant to be more of a PvE mode, but it still was something that I think has some really cool potential of like expanding what you can do in Halo, but not just being your typical 4v4 gameplay, your typical BTB gameplay. Like, I think the next Halo experience needs something new that you can do and gameplay wise within Halo without drastically changing what Halo is, right? Like, basically you can find a way to keep here's the global battle thing I was talking about. So this was like a mode that they were testing out early prototypes during Reach's early development, and it seemed kind of like a PvE experience where you have these large scale modes that was super cinematic. Like, you can see they just queued up a bunch of explosions in a scarab to kind of just make it seem like it's some crazy cinematic experience. But like something like this, like, look at this. I would love to play this. This looks amazing. Like, obviously it's super barren land, right? Early prototypes using Halo 3 assets for like what could potentially happen in Halo Reach. They tested this mode out, and I think they just came across the limitations when it came to like the hardware available on the 360 and things like that to really make it a fun mode. But that's something that you can do as 343 to expand upon what Halo can offer in an experience without completely changing the gameplay and being like, forget everything you know about Halo. Like, this is something that would be a really cool, unique experience that, I mean, wouldn't this be awesome? Like, even and maybe if you throw PvP into it, like a PvE VP kind of experience, that would be freaking awesome, right? Because Halo AI is amazing to play against. That's why people keep playing the campaigns over and over again, because they're so much fun to shoot and fight against. And if you add like maybe a little PvP on top of that as well, you can create some really large scale, awesome experiences. And if this was like a standalone game experience, this would be something that I think would be such a fun thing to do within the game. Of course, then if you release this, like, right, as the next Halo experience, people would be like, oh, so you're just not making my campaign, you're not making my forge, you're not doing this and that and that. But I think it's like, as long as there's proper communication behind it, I think that's something that'd be very viable. Like, if they announce this game, right, the standalone experience that's coming out next year, right, and people are super excited about it, but they're like, don't worry guys, we also have this, and just make a general announcement like they did with like Halo Infinite, right? Just saying like it's in the works, just let people know it's happening, to quell the issue of those fans that want that classic Halo experience of like 4v4 multiplayer, BTB, campaign, forge, and all that kind of stuff. Let them know that that's coming, but it's coming down later down the road. But for right now, we have this really cool standalone experience that I think will appeal to Halo fans as like a brand new thing, right? And help push Halo forward rather than being so stuck in like the last 20 years of just trying to relive the same experiences we had as a child when we first played Halo. Maybe call me crazy on that, but I think that would be my strategy if I was pure hints. But I mean, I'm sure they have a bunch of data behind that as well. A Halo extraction shooter escaping Infinity on Zeta Halo. I mean, that would be kind of an interesting thing too, to see like how could you making it. But of course, then like people would just be like, "Oh, you're just following trends." But the thing is that like we haven't really had a true AAA experience in the extraction shooter genre. And that's kind of the reason why like Fortnite blew up so much, is because it was like the first AAA backed experience when it comes to battle royale. It's the first one that felt good to play when it comes to controller, on and on mouse and keyboard. It had crossplay as well, and it was kind of just first, and it did it really well. It had some really unique mechanics with the building and stuff like that, and I think is what really helped Fortnite blow up. So maybe if Halo can be one of the first AAA experiences on the extraction shooter side of things that really kind of sticks, could be there. I mean, we did see Call of Duty try it with DMZ. I personally love DMZ. I recognize it was a bit of a shallow mode, but I just love the experience of playing DMZ. And there definitely was something there. It pains me that they didn't continue with that. I know that we saw Battlefield try it as well, but again, it was I never played it, but people didn't like it. I think Battlefield fans just want your 64 player conquest. Like, just nail that experience. That's what people really want. And a little bit of Rush as well, because Rush is cool. But we'll see what the next Battlefield is going to be. Apparently, it's going to be a tremendous live service experience, which is like great. That's exactly what we want, man. More live service. But of course, like Battlefield can fit in the model pretty well when it comes to that. Let me catch back up with chat here. I didn't want to. I went on a little bit of a rant there, but I think that's what I would like to see with the next Halo experience. Halo failed so much as a PvE game, especially a PvE multiplayer game. Are you high? What do you mean? Like, I don't think it's really been attempted to be a PvE multiplayer game. Like, we've had Firefight, but that's an old mode. Firefight's like a mode that was made, 15 years ago? And it's like, it's a little dull. I mean, you have other games out there that are kind of doing a little bit better, like, oh god, what am I blanking on? Like Helldivers, right? Like, they kind of took that same idea of like co-op PvE experience and multiplayer, and they kind of made it more of an open world type of thing with a little bit of extraction shooter elements, but not really too much. But that's kind of one of the things you need to do to kind of help revitalize that mode, because there's still something there. It's still fun to shoot aliens a lot. But it needs a new coat of paint to make it something exciting, innovate on a little bit more. Like, if Halo, whatever next Halo game just releases Firefight again, like, Halo's dead on arrival, man. If it's just 4v4 Slayer and regular BTB, it's DOA. Firefight in 2010 and 2020 and in 2023 to 2024. I mean, like, yeah, it's boring. Warzone, I guess, in Halo 5 was a great example of being able to iterate on the Halo experience. Like, Warzone was a really popular mode. People loved that mode. It was always one of the most popular, top 3 most popular modes within Halo 5. I see people all the time online saying that they want to see Warzone come back. There was definitely, and then like they basically took the idea of like a MOBA and put it in a first-person shooter. That's how you innovate. That was a really cool mode, and they did a pretty good job on it. It definitely certainly had its flaws, but overall, I thought Warzone was a really cool mode. And that's something that was definitely missing with Infinite. It was like some cool, unique experience, and that's the main thing that Infinite was missing. That's why I think maybe a lot of people got bored with Infinite quickly, just because of that. Yeah, I was hoping to talk about other topics, and I'm just ranting about Halo for an hour straight. Basically, you're the Master Chief, and the Master Chief isn't real. You reacted the Chief. Reacted the Chief. What? What are you talking about, Ken? Ken, why are you high? You're not Chief. You are Chief. What? I'm just misreading it. Yeah, Warzone was a good innovation. Exactly, Huff. Like, Warzone was a great mode. But I want to say we have 48 people currently watching the stream on YouTube and on Twitch. Just want to say I appreciate you guys clicking on the stream, but thank you all very much. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure to tap like. It helps support the channel on the algorithm and all that kind of stuff. If you're on Twitch, if you haven't followed yet, make sure you do. If you have Twitch Prime to help support the channel, always appreciate it as well. So far, I'm trying my best to figure out a good schedule. My schedule is just all over the place right now. As I'm like starting up a part-time job, starting up another job. For more experience when it comes to social media and things like that. I'm trying to find my best to figure out live streams and content, I can always find a way to put YouTube videos out, because it takes me like an hour or two to make a YouTube video. But like doing live streams is a little more of a time commitment. How did the interviews go? I'm still waiting. I'm supposed to hear back today about a job interview I had the other week before last. But I think they're kind of dragging their feet on making a decision, probably because they're just too busy. I'm really hoping. Okay, yeah, like the part-time job I just started, they just texted me today saying they were making adjustments and I can work Monday through Wednesday. Like my schedule just constantly keeps on changing. I want to give you guys a schedule. Maybe I can do like once a week streams of like every Friday during the day like today or something like that. It's been such a struggle, man. I was like, get some form of consistency happening. I'm just in a real flux state right now. Infinite lag content at launch? Definitely within the multiplayer side of things, Super P, when it came to like playlist availability, he had 4 playlists, and one of those was against bots. So he really had 3. He had quick play, ranked, and BTB. And then he had the bot mode. And that was it. Like no Team Slayer. Like how could you release a Halo multiplayer experience without Team Slayer? Like that's just poor management right there. That's a perfect example of just poor management. And I appreciate Sketch. I remember back in the day, like he said, like, oh, there's like UI limitations or something like that. And I think I appreciate him. I know that his hands were probably tied. Like he's like, he's probably like, it was the guy, one of the managers said that we wanted to release it this way, but you couldn't, put the blame on them because that's not how you interact with. That's not how you communicate, right? You don't want to make your studio look bad. And I appreciate it. I always feel bad for the community team at 343 because I always have to try to communicate some decisions that people are just like, what are you doing? And they go like, well, it's, they try their best. And so I appreciate what they can, We are lucky to have people like Sketch and Unishack as our community team guys. And also Sam as well. They do the best they absolutely can do. Sometimes you can tell like a lot of times their hands are tied behind their back when it comes to communication, but like they do a fantastic job. They do the best they can, man. Honestly, like if I was in their situation, I'd probably say the exact same things, Okay, let me catch back up with chat. Chat's getting a little lively here, guys. I'm trying to catch up here. I want you guys to feel like you're being ignored here. Did you talk about the other topics on the title yet? No, I haven't yet, Huff. I've been wanting to. We just keep kind of caught up with Halo because obviously we have a pretty strong Halo base here, and I want to keep you guys, talking with you guys what you want to talk about. Nick said they got rid of pre-game lobbies, veto system, and the UI sucks nuts. Bring back and put a BR in the game and put happy. Appeal with the big streamers and the people will follow. Yeah, appealing to big streamers is important, right? There is a very considerable audience out there that is pretty good representation of what your core audience is. But you just also have to remember, just like content creators as a whole, we're still like a fraction of what the major player base is, right? And we could say, I think there's been a lot of times where there's been this disconnect where we feel like our voice is more important than what maybe like data might show when it comes to the experience of playing games. I definitely see this when it comes to skill-based matchmaking, where like pretty much everyone online hates it, right? But everyone online is a much more engaged player, right? They'll recognize those type of systems at play. I guarantee you, majority of players who play these shooters like Call of Duty and Halo and whatever game uses skill-based matchmaking, I bet you majority of players don't even realize what's being the strings that are being pulled behind the screen, It's because they just hop in and play. Because I know what it's like to be that type of player, because I was that guy pretty much right up until Reach. It wasn't really until Reach where I started actually diving into the online experience of these games to understand like the ins and outs, the mechanics of games. Before that, I just literally just put the disc into my 360 and played. And I played what I liked. I didn't really pay attention to anything outside of that, And I think that's kind of what the majority of people are. And I mean, I feel like even though our voice online is important, it is important to have streamers promote your games because it's free marketing, right? Thousands upon millions of views for free. That means something. But then you also got to make sure that you don't completely cater to that audience because it might not be what your core audience might be. If that makes sense. And I'm really just saying that because as someone from the outside of things of being a content creator, streamer, that I'm not privy to the information that these developers have. And I'm pretty sure these developers are making decisions that work best for their games to get people most engaged, to get them to keep playing the game. And even though I hate skill-based matchmaking in Call of Duty, right? That it works for them, you know? That's the reason why it's still there. If it was lowering engagement numbers, if it was making them lose money, then that would change, right? That absolutely would change. And that's why, like, I see some games out there like XDefiant really pressing the issue of like utilizing streamers to promote their game is one to kind of help lower costs when it comes to marketing, to still get a good amount of viewership out there, and then kind of rely on word of mouth to hopefully spread the word of, like, say, a game like XDefiant. But I'm wondering if you cater your game to content creators and streamers, does that translate to a core audience that might not engage with YouTube or Twitch and stuff like that, you know? Even though they need to watch me. No. So I'm really interested to see how XDefiant plays out. I played the last open beta and actually had a lot of fun. I'm definitely going to install and play it when it comes out, because I had a lot of fun playing the game. It's a good shooter. But the thing is that, like, they're advertising like no skill-based matchmaking in social matches, input-based matchmaking if you want it, and crossplay is available. Skill-based matchmaking is only in the ranked experience and stuff like that, which is good. I think that's how it should be. But we'll see how things work out in the back end for them. Of course, from my experience of like playing an open beta, you have to like physically sign up. Not physically, but you have to like actually sign up for, install an early version of the game, play within these dedicated hours. So you're going to get a very biased group of players within that group. So I'm very interested to see how the game plays out when the full release happens. BTB should have been ranked. I don't agree with that. I think BTB and the nature of its mode is a social experience that's not really meant to be taken super serious. I think it's more just a mode to kind of like crank up Halo's gameplay to 11, add vehicles, add more explosions, you know, and just kind of just maybe go on a cool kill streak or something like that. But I don't think it's really meant to be like a mode it's meant to be like super well balanced. And I think if you put a rank behind it, it will definitely kill the mode. We saw this happen a lot with MCC when it comes to Invasion. People say they love Invasion, it's such a great mode, why don't they bring it back? And then they put a rank, for some reason they put a rank behind Invasion, which I thought was really weird. But I played it a ton. And I think I was actually like, I think I was top 20 on PC when it comes to reach on Invasion, I'm just saying. That was kind of my claim to fame until they reset everything. Because I was like, I never really delved into Invasion when I was playing Reach back in 2010, because I was mainly playing 4v4, like Social Slayer, or 5v5 Social Slayer, and like the MLG modes. And then custom games on top of that. But I think if you put a rank behind anything, it instantly makes it more niche. So I think a lot of people see a rank tied behind that mode, and they go, "Oh, I don't want to play against sweats. You know, I don't want to get smashed because people are trying too hard." It's kind of the main reason why I haven't jumped into games like Tarkov, right? Even though I'm starting to enjoy extraction shooters, I haven't jumped into Tarkov because I know if I jump into Tarkov, I'm gonna get brutally destroyed. Same thing with like Counter-Strike. I don't jump into that game because I know I'm gonna play it socially. I'm not gonna dedicate myself to play the game, and I'm gonna get destroyed by players that are better than me. Because people who have been playing that game for 30 years. I'm sure there's a ranking system behind it to kind of protect new players like me from being destroyed. That's the reason why there's skill-based matchmaking in games, but I don't know. I think a ranked BTB mode just doesn't fit the feelings of BTB, and then plus we just don't have the player base for it. And plus you have what? BTB heavies, BTB, and squad battles. So you have like 3 main modes that divides up that player base, and you add rank on top of that, it would divide it up even more. This ain't Halo, is this Halo, this ain't COD? Yeah, but they're both shooters. Both live service shooters that are trying to get your attention. There's definitely crossover between Halo players and COD players. You know, people hate to admit it, but there definitely is. I am one of those players. I like playing Call of Duty, it's fun. I kind of lost interest in Call of Duty since mainly since ever since Helldivers came out is when I kind of lost interest in playing the Modern Warfare 3. Even though it's a good multiplayer, it's a good Call of Duty game. So did Call of Duty have a ranking system before 2010? I mean, you had the prestige system, but if you're talking about competitive ranks, but I don't think that really was a thing until Black Ops 2. They had one singular mode for that. I think the ranked experience of a game should just be whatever your competitive mode is. I like how Infinite's doing it right now, where you get your one ranked mode, which is ranked arena, which is supposed to kind of mirror what you see on Twitch and all the competitive events. That's what I want to play when it comes to playing ranked. I want to play what the pros are playing, because that's fun. And also back then, you got to think about Halo C was better than 2 or 3 was, or whatever. That Halo had that population where they could do that. We had millions and millions of people logging in every single month to play Halo. And we just don't have that population right now. I think I've heard that the peak population for Halo for a single day, peak concurrent player counts, hovers around 30 to 50,000 players, which is a pretty healthy number. Most of that's on Xbox. But every time 343 introduces a new ranked mode into the game, like ranked Team Slayer, ranked Free For All, ranked Duos, it's always a fraction of what all the other modes have. They have the data to prove it. There's a reason why they don't do that. I want to see, if you want to play ranked, funnel players into the ranked experience like they do with Infinite. I like how they do it with Infinite with the ranked experiences. Because I'm saying, this is coming from my experience of playing the game. I like playing 4v4, MLG, HCS stuff when it comes to ranked. And everything outside of that, I like it to be social. That's the ranked experience, right? If you divide everything else between ranked and social, you'll be having crazy match times with really imbalanced matches. I can't even get in the games with ranked snipers after 7 p.m. where I live. Exactly, Zero. Exactly what I'm talking about. Of course, there is a bit of that where I'm saying because I think the appeal of ranked as well is you have that carrot at the end of the stick of ranking up, right? Getting that number higher. But when the mode's only there for 2 weeks, maybe a month or something like that, it's going to be gone, so it kind of loses that motivation to grind as well. So it could be a little bit of a chicken and the egg kind of experience, where chicken or the egg, I should say, experience, where people might not grind it because they know it's going to be gone, but since it's going to be gone, or people just don't grind it because they know the rank's going to be gone, or it's going to be removed in a short amount of time, so they don't want to dedicate themselves to the mode to get better at it. The big miss in Infinite was no multi-team or massive multi-team, 12 teams or 2 or 8 teams of 3. If you can find some cool modes to do about it, I don't think, but multi-team always felt like it was a bit of a niche mode when it came to Halo. I never really felt like it was a core experience to the Halo multiplayer experience. I guess I'm using experience too many times, but you know what I mean. Right, Super P, I just saw your earlier chat saying, Kev, have you played the Star Wars Dark Forces remaster? I don't even know what Dark Forces is. Yeah, Infection's one of those legacy modes that people just expect to be in Halo, but then don't actually. I mean, there's a dedicated audience to it as well. People like it. I don't really have much fun playing in Infection. I did like the Escape the Underground mode in Halo 5. That's the Infection I actually liked. All the other versions of it, I just don't care about. I liked it back in Halo 2, played it a bunch because it was a bit of a novelty within the custom games and stuff like that. But nowadays, it just needs to be more. There's a lot of things in Halo Infinite that were great 20 years ago. But so when you bring that same experience 20 years later, it's just it just kind of goes, eh. It's I never really played that, you know? I know 4 teams of 2 would be a blast. It definitely could be if you can find some cool gameplay experiences around it. Maybe if there was a headhunter mode, right? where like if you kill enemy players, they drop like an objective. You take those objectives, bring it back to your base kind of thing, and everyone's just kind of like playing like Hungry Hippos, but like first-person shooter edition. Like that would be kind of an interesting mode to play. And maybe if like the score zones move or rotate or something like that, that'd be kind of crazy. Speaking of ranked rewards need to be a thing. A gun variant, new color pattern, or a Spartans, something to show that you stand out to the others because of your rank. Yeah, I think that'd be a really cool thing. Like what they did that back in Halo 5, right? Where I think if you just got your placement matches, you earn like a weapon skin, which is a really cool idea. I think they should do something like that again within Halo. But again, I think it's just kind of comes to the limited amount of resources they have with Infinite, where like they definitely could do that, but then that'd be less things to go into the shop to help fund the game. You know, I think that's a big issue with that. They need ranked objective playlist or make Halo 3 refueled ranked. I think we're running that same problem again there, Ufaka. That I think we're running that same issue with like what ranked Team Snipers is like. Even though freaking playing Halo 3 refilled right now feels like it's freaking ranked, dude. But I don't know. I think that's you just run into that same problem. Like the ranked is just 4v4 objective and Slayer. Like that's what the core ranked experience is. It always has been, and it always will be with Halo. Would I love to? And then like we already play ranked, guys. There's already a ranked system within every playlist. It's called skill-based matchmaking. You just don't see that number go up. It's already in the game. You already are playing ranked BTB. Every mode's ranked because you got skill-based matchmaking playing involved. You just don't see that number going up. Of course, it's more engagement optimized matchmaking, not strictly skill-based matchmaking, but the way to go about doing, you know the whole story. We've been talking about it for like 10 years, or 8, whatever, how many years now it has been with shooters, but and skill-based matchmaking. Yo, Rover, welcome back, man. Thanks for coming by. Yeah, Reach Headhunter. Yeah, Reach Headhunter was a really cool mode. That was a really cool mode. I was really hoping to bring it back with Infinite, and they just didn't quite do that. It's boring playing a game with 0 skill rank. I think that could just be more with you, man. Like to me, I'll jump in and play some Team Slayer if I just want to chill and shoot stuff. You know, I'm liking progression when it comes to my battle pass or operation pass, or maybe gain some more exchange points or something like that. But if I just want to jump in and shoot stuff, I'll just play some. You know, I'll play some regular Slayer. I'll play some quick quick play most likely. That's what even has. Wait, even Fortnite has it. Yeah, but Fortnite has like a bazillion players that play every month. They can get away and make some crazy playlists that people will play. Find enough people to play, you know, so you can have good quality of matches. Helldivers 2 banned from ? Well, let me show you. If I still have it right here. No. Okay, let me look. Let me type in pirate software. Oops. Software. Helldivers 2 banned. See, it's what right here. Where is it? I think let's do this right here. Okay, so Pirate Software kind of brought up this point, popularized this point right here that's going on with Helldivers. That even though the gamers won, right? We stopped the automatons who are making us have digital accounts to keep track of our data and sell it off to other companies. There's still a battle to be fought though when it comes to Helldivers 2. And that is the fact the Helldivers 2 is still banned in the countries where you cannot get a PSN account, which was kind of the crux of the main argument. Like the crux of it wasn't really the fact that you had to make a PSN account, people just roll their eyes and just do that. The biggest issue was that there's so many people out there who bought and play Helldivers outside of countries that don't have a PSN account, and there was no recourse for them. Like Steam was just being good guy Steam by refunding on those platforms because PlayStation was being a greedy corporation for their, hungry for your data. But Pirate Software brought this up, saying that the Helldivers 2 community was tricked by Sony. Sony declared having a PSN account would be mandatory to play Helldivers 2. The community revolted and trashed the game reviews score by 13% positive. That was huge. Sony walked it back and stated they wouldn't be making it a mandatory thing. Declaring victory, the community undid the massive wave of negative reviews, yet Sony did something sinister in the background. They restricted Helldivers 2 from being purchased in all 177 countries where PSN is not available. All these countries, you still cannot get Helldivers 2, which again was the crux of like the main argument behind this entirety of people not wanting to make a PSN account. Like, yeah, making a PSN account sucks. No one really wants to do it. You roll your eyes and you go, fine, I want to play my game. Because it's kind of industry standard. I mean, Microsoft does this as well, right? With like Helldivers 2, EA does this, Ubisoft does it. Bethesda was doing this back in the day as well. You do this with CD Projekt Red, right? If you want to play Cyberpunk, you make an account for that developer, that publisher, so you can play the game, so they can track your information to then sell to investors and be like, look how great our product is and stuff like that. But again, like I said, like the big issue with this, blocking this in countries that the problem is that you done messed up PlayStation, Sony, because you released the game, let people play, and let people buy the game in countries where you're literally not able to, play it. Like, even though it was originally stated within the game itself saying it's mandatory to make a PlayStation account to be able to play this game, but you done messed up and let all these other countries buy and play your game, and then you're just gonna take it away from them just because of the country that they live in, because you don't have the infrastructure to make a PSN available in those countries. Like, bruh, come on. The Philippines, there's a lot of people that live in the Philippines. You wouldn't be able to play Helldivers, right? Kind of scroll through and look at that. There's a lot of African countries in here that you would just not be able to play. I think the only one that was really available in was like South Africa. Like, you wouldn't be able to play Helldivers in Egypt. There's plenty of people that play in Egypt. I know there's Halo players that play in Egypt, And what about our Antarctica homies? Come on. What about our Antarctica homies? Are we just going to ignore those frigid Helldivers down at the South Pole? We're just not going to, help those guys? And I'm sure the Wi-Fi might be a little rough down there, but you know what I mean. So yeah, like not every single. Oh, and also, like, guys, like North Korea is banned as well. Like, come on, you don't think Kim Jong-un wants to spread democracy? Come on, he'd want to. He'd be down. He loves the bomb things. He would probably just throwing 500 kg bombs all over the map. Trying to flex how great he can throw bombs around. But the thing is more just like the idea, the principle of it, right? Of just like letting people in these countries buy your game, play them, and then just completely remove them. It seems completely unfair. Like Puerto Rico's in this list. I just saw Puerto Rico's on this list. You don't think there's people in Puerto Rico playing Helldivers 2? I don't know how many. But I'm sure people on that island play video games, And the fact that I wonder if there's some way like Sony was like, okay, we won't force them to make an account, but we could still track them or at least block in these countries kind of thing. And it seems so unfair to those players out there. We're like, yep, you're still out of luck. You can't buy the game. I mean, maybe you might still be able to play. I don't know. Like, you can tell that the messaging behind Helldivers 2 about making a PSN account was so rushed overnight and just poorly thought out because, well, one, it was PlayStation that made that announcement, not the Helldivers Arrowhead studio, right? And it was just like, so just last minute, forced upon, no discussions about like what if these kind of situations, which are legitimate situations. This is like Sony was like, we need to track their data, make them make a PSN account now. this happened, this come down overnight kind of thing. And it's, even though it's Sony's fault for allowing this to happen. Like, if making a PSN account was that important, delay the game. Make it so then you can make it so then, like, day one you're forced to make a PSN account, because people then, it wouldn't even be an issue. This wouldn't even be an issue if it was available mandatory day one. People would just be like, ugh, another one. Roll your eyes, make your account, and never use that account ever again if you're a PC player. That's what everyone would have done. But the reason why it's an issue is because, these accounts is you're not able to. They're looking to ban people in these countries from playing the game. And this was stated from the CEO of Arrowhead, the lead person at Arrowhead, saying, is there, a person on Discord said, is there any news about the 177 countries delisted issue? And he straight up said, sorry, no. I'm speaking to our partners at PlayStation and Valve. Wait, what does it say? The freaking Twitter plus signs blocking the thing. And pushing for it to be undone. Getting the account linking took a Herculean effort, but won't rest my desire to have it available everywhere. I can never figure out the pronounce the name. Helldivers. I call him the CEO of Arrowhead. That's what I say. Based CEO of Arrowhead, man. The guy, he's a real one, man. He's just one of the real ones out there. And also, like, he actually recently said, he recently tweeted this out, which I thought was just not your typical gaming CEO. Because obviously with all the controversy that's been going around Helldivers 2, he recently tweeted this out back on the 8th, so just a couple days ago, at the time of recording this video. Saying to all the Helldivers 2, all the people who play Helldivers 2, with the negative sentiment around account linking, a concern from the team came up about being like a tone-deaf release with the new paid war bond this soon, and therefore we are putting it to a real vote in true democratic fashion. So please guide us. Would you rather have a new war bond like now or later? And I love the fact that like they even gave the community an option to say, should we delay this? So because we're forcing bring up a new paid option that we're right now the current negative sentiment that like it might not be a good optics kind of thing. This is a gaming CEO, and he's like, this might not be good for the player. I hope you guys get that reference, please. Andrew Wilson is awful, but he's in charge of so many great games, and it pains me that but with the recent positive sentiment that's been going on, people are like, no, go ahead and release the new paid war bond for people to jump in and play. 74% people with 180,000 votes said yes, do it. And it's just the fact that this was even an option. Like, this makes me trust this guy. Like, whatever he says or thinks is best for the game, I believe him, because it just seems like he just comes off as like one of those real ones. He just wants what's best for the game, and not what's best for the bottom line, not what's best for optimizing shareholders and all this kind of stuff. Like, actually listens to the community and responds and tries to give honest answers. It's crazy to think that that's a unique trait, but that's an actual thing, I just really hope to see that those people in those countries have some way to refund, or I don't know, man. Like, there's definitely, I feel bad for those people in those countries that don't have PSNs available. Can you come work for 343? No, we got a bunch of good people that work at 343. Like I said, like, we got Sketch, we got Uni, we got some real ones in there. We haven't really heard much about Pierre and his guidance of what 343 is at the moment, but I think all of 2023 and kind of pretty much all of 2023 with Pierre Hense, it was more about like, hey, what do we do with this franchise? I think 2024 is a year of like, hey, we'll start putting things in motion. And 2025 is probably when we'll see like the first reveal of anything of the next Halo experience. Yeah, the majority of people at 343 love Halo. All right, it's like just like upper management just makes former upper management just made some really awkward, really boneheaded decisions, to be honest. But anyone who's like doing that, the hashtag Fire343, you got it. Like, all the management that was in charge of Infinite left the game. Like, basically everybody, every notable developer in a power position at 343 left. There is like nobody there from when Infinite launched. Effectively. Like, everyone just kind of jumped. They're like, man, that was rough. I don't want to do that again. You know? So we'll see what this Neo 343 has to offer for the next Halo experience. Yeah, I think, Rover, I think that, well, I mean, we really didn't hear much from Bonnie Ross either, though, unless it was something like praising Xbox or something about women in gaming, or because she was always like a really, really big advocate for that stuff, which was great to see. But when you're like the head of the studio, you're not really, even though the game is the major part of it, you're still talking about in charge of like everything involving Halo: toys, books, the TV show, the game, and everything in between. Like, Pierre isn't really the one that's going to be, she really is the one to talk about what the game's next Halo experience is going to be. That would be up to the creative director of the game. Someone like where Joseph Staten was at the time, or previously where Chris Lee was, right? Chris Lee was the guy, the charge ahead of Halo Infinite, right? Like, Chris Lee was the guy. You know, if anyone needs to come out talking about the next game, it would be the person whoever's that creative director for the game. We just want to see from the head, right? Because it's better for optics. Even though the creative director would have more things to say about it. I'm sorry, Matt. I saw your chats coming in. So I know that if I start reading chats, I'm gonna go off and completely get lost in whatever the next thing comes up. But I appreciate you coming in, Matt. I appreciate all you guys coming in as well. But I think Pierre could do what Bonnie did and give overall the vision of the future. Yeah, but the thing, I think when Pierre came in, he's like, what are we doing? Like, what do we want to do here? You know, like I said, all of 2023 was trying to figure out, what do we do with this franchise? Like, let's make a decision. And that's basically what the entirety of 23 was. And 24, I think here is trying to put setting up those steps to be in pre-production of whatever that next game experience is, and 2025 being like that actual development of it. So then, like, Xbox Showcase in 2025, we'll actually see something about Halo. That's my experience. That's my expectation. And like I said, I really hope it's much more focused, smaller experience when it comes to Halo. Okay, Indy. Well, that's just straight up sexist right there. That's just straight up sexist right there, dude. Like, what the hell? Like, no. That's not the problem at all. What? Dude. Andy, usually you're pretty chill in this chat, but like, what the hell, man? What? That's the most irrelevant fact? Yeah, I mean, Halo Infinite was setting itself up to be the 10-year game. It was doing everything. It was setting itself up so great. That's why I was so focused on doing Halo content when Infinite was coming out, because I'm like, I can ride this hype, right? And there's I've seen so many content creators out there who do what I do for Halo, but for other games and make it their full-time job, right? It would have been amazing. But the hype of Infinite died so quick because of, like, so many things were just not happening, right? 8-month, 10-month long seasons are just not where we're at. What's that, Chief? Man, I'm just lashing out. Indie Halo's just having emotions and they're just going off. You know, you're just randomly firing. Exactly, Matt. Yeah. It was over 18 months ago. I think it's enough time has passed with him at the helm that he could say something this summer. Possibly. I mean, I think what anybody could say at Halo right now is that they're cooking. That's what Sketch has said. That's what the message we keep hearing, right? And we knew this back in December of 23, that 343 are moving on beyond Infinite, right? So when then they make that announcement of, we're not doing seasons anymore, lines up with what he said back in June. Like, we know that there's an end date to Halo Infinite. So when it happens, don't get mad. Don't get shocked. It's going to happen. Like, 343 literally came out and said, we're moving on from Infinite. And so whenever that end date happens, people are like, oh, but you promised the 10 years, the seasons, and the content. Like, dude, it's ending. There's an end date, okay? Move on. 343 has. You should too. Well, chasing becoming Fortnite, everyone wants that money. Well, I think Fortnite did a great job of... Fortnite just was the first one to really kind of find a good medium between like gameplay, non-intrusive gameplay, and microtransactions is what they did. They were the first ones to really do it right. And I think that's what really led to them really wanting to, a lot of developers pushing for that, publishers should say pushing for that. Of course, they're all like, going, it's like, hey, do you see how great Fortnite's doing? We should do Fortnite stuff. And people go like, well, Fortnite's Fortnite, Sometimes there are exceptions to the rule. Plus, like, Fortnite's audience is weird. There's a whole culture within Fortnite that if you're running around as a default skin, that's like embarrassing. Like, for example, my neighbor across the street, he's like a 10-year-old kid, thinks I'm really cool because I'm a content creator. I do live streams and make videos and stuff like that. It's like what kids want to be nowadays, right? They want to play video games for a job. And he's like, well, do you want to play Fortnite? And I'm like, okay, I'll play Fortnite with you. I don't play it that often because I don't really like Fortnite. It's not really my thing. But I will say, when I play with that 10-year-old kid, the skill-based matchmaking, I slay in those lobbies now. Oh my god, it's amazing. I feel like a beast in Fortnite when I play with him. But just dunking on all these 10-year-old kids on controllers. Oh, it feels great. It's such an ego boost. But I jump in as a default skin because like I'm not putting money into this game. I play it only whenever I play with him. That's like once every like 3 months or something like that. And he's like, he's like, do you have any other skins? I'm like, no, I just play as this. And he's like, you really should get other skins. The Naruto's in the game now. You should get that. And like, he always talks about like new skins that come into the game as that's content. And I just find that such a weird culture within that game. That like if you run around as a default skin in Fortnite, you're just kind of looked down upon as like some Pokemon broke boy. And I just find that so odd. And like every time he never brings up like, oh hey, there's this new mode or new collaboration or stuff like that. You can do within Fortnite. It's always like what the new skin is within the game that you can buy. And it's like, it just feels so weird. But I think it could be a part of just like the game industry where like for a lot of games that has become content, right? That's kind of where we're at right now with Halo Infinite, where like the content is the customization you can buy into. Fortnite is basically NFT for kids. Oh my gosh. It's a really weird thing, and like apparently he's like the kid, he's always pressuring me to buy a Fortnite skin because it's embarrassing running around as default. It's like people make fun of you for it. It's like, what? If I see a default skin like in Halo, I think, oh, this guy, he's not gonna play very well. He's new. He's gonna get dunked on. He's gonna go 5-25 and say the game sucks. At least that's what I see. I don't make fun of them. And of course, that's why I think I don't say that, because like I'm glad that they're playing the game in the first place. It just I get concerns because I see trends. UTLF. It's like if I see default skins in Halo, I know we're going to lose. Yeah, just like some default gray coding sparring going. You're like, oh no. Especially if it's Eagle Strike. Yeah, like no one uses Eagle Strike. But yeah, it's like one of those weird subcultures within games that I just find so interesting. That's just content to them, and just like I was like, man, like no, content is like what can you do in the game? It's not what you can buy, it's what you can do, Like the 50v50 mode in Fortnite, that's a really cool idea. The Thanos mode is really cool. But no builds is a really cool thing as well. The creative aspects, Fortnite creative modes that you can play, that's really cool as well. Like I think I played like Guess Who with him in Fortnite as well, and I was like, that's really fun. That's content. That's things you can do. But apparently I'm so embarrassing running around with a default skin in Fortnite. How dare I do such a terrible thing? How do you think the game has made $1 billion of? True. But I don't even think that's really Fortnite, They just, their battle passes are all customization, stores are customization, and they release content out for people to play. So I think it just kind of comes from the players themselves and playing the game. Face it, Kevin, you're old. You're played. I mean, yeah, I get it. Yeah, I'm 37 years old, okay? Come on. I've been at this for way too long. But I'm getting to the point now where I'm starting to get more into the professional side of things. That's what I really want to try to get into. That's kind of what the most recent news I might have for you guys coming out soon. Let me catch up with chat a little bit here, see if I missed anything. I think I kind of kept up today with it. No one cares about customization in Halo because of that. Or say what? Well, because it's not third person. No, people cared about their customization, dude. Like people like being able to just like see themselves like in the intro screen and be able to see how people look at them, be like, look at the cool stuff I'm wearing, and how exceptional and unique I am. People get off on having that kind of idea or that kind of experience when it comes to Halo. Like, there's a reason why people still love Reach's customization, even though, yeah, it's still a first-person shooter game. Like, yeah, sometimes you would go into third person, right? But, people love the customization, be able to kind of just craft up a little thing that they can do. Third person definitely shows it off better, yeah, but certainly third player, or if you hold a turret, right? You go into third person there. There's third person in the game. Wait, who made more last, GTA or Fortnite? That's a good question. Which game did make more, Fortnite or GTA? Let's type this in here. Fortnite versus GTA 5 revenue. What's game? Let's see here. I'm gonna guess Fortnite. What game has made more money, Fortnite or GTA? Let's see here. It's a really definitive answer. Maybe this tweet has something to say. People tell me GTA 6 and Fortnite are not comparable. GTA 5 made $8 billion in revenue in the last 10 years. Fortnite made $26 billion in 5. GTA 5 was a big moneymaker, but no, benchmark is way higher. Yeah, Fortnite is just ranking in cash. And the crazy thing about this as well, like even Fortnite, Epic Games, they had to lay off people recently as well. When your company makes $26 billion and you still have to lay people off, that's the state of the game industry, dude. Like, it's crazy. Epic Game layouts. Let me show you what I'm talking about here. Like, the crazy thing is that even Epic actually went on and actually made a blog post about this, saying, we showed earlier that we're laying off 16% of Epic's employees. We're devastating band camps and spinning off to super awesome kind of thing. So, it's so like even Fortnite had to lay people off too, which is just insane that you can make all the money in the world and you still need to lay 16% of your employees off. Just crazy to think. Rooster Teeth's last day is today. Oh man. I mean, yeah, Rooster Teeth was great. Rooster Teeth was great back in the early 2000s and 2010s, man. But I mean, they even recognize that a lot of people kind of fell off with them. Yeah. So, okay, what it is. Well, sold more in store, an armor bundle or an HS bundle. I bet it was the armor bundle. I'm pretty sure it was too. Those are those. I mean, I bought into some of the HS bundles as well because I know they help support the teams. So at least that money goes to something good. But yeah, that Halo C armor set, which I also bought into as well because, well, I'm a boomer Halo kid, so that would make sense. So, you know. It kind of would make sense for me to buy into that as well. Plus, the armor set looked really cool. It's very authentic. Hello, Throne. Thanks for coming by, man. They're being replaced by AI. Maybe, I don't know. The game is designed to drive people insane. I'm here to get paired with people that have more matches, played more than me, and always going negative. I think it's just kind of state of Halo right now, right? Song of Tragedy, welcome to the stream, my brother. Thanks for coming by, man. Look at everyone on YouTube and on Twitch. What do you want to see in Halo 7? Well, I kind of talked about this earlier where I think I don't want a full Halo game for the next Halo experience. I want the next Halo experience to be like a spin-off, standalone type of game. I went in depth about this earlier. I'll definitely upload that as like a singular video. But as like a game for like if you want like a traditional Halo experience, you know, a full campaign, your typical multiplayer experiences, but a brand new mode that's completely new to Halo, like a Warzone was or Invasion or something like that, to kind of just mix up the gameplay, have something new to do in the game. That's the biggest issue with me when it comes to Halo. I feel like I'm so incredibly burnt out on everything Halo multiplayer right now. Like nothing interests me when it comes to multiplayer right now, because it's like we're just trying to relive all the same stuff that we played 20 years ago. So I wanted to have like one cool new match made, crafted by developer signature mode for the game. Firefight would be cool, but I wouldn't really care if it wasn't there. I want a theater mode that actually works. What else? Better UI. UI like basically reminiscent of Reach. Like, let's just give us the Reach UI, man. I think Halo Infinite's customization was great. I'll see that detailed level of customization come back in the Infinite. I think, or next Halo game would be amazing. Infinite's done a lot of things right. I just wish a lot of stuff that's in Infinite that was there day one, you know? Wow, there's like... That's the thing about Halo is that like there's so many niche markets to a Halo experience that like everyone has their own opinion of what they want the next Halo game to be, but not everyone is right. And the hardest part is like trying to take in all these different bits of input and then trying to put it into a singular experience for everyone to enjoy. What's the latest on Helldivers mode? 343 kind of teased. Was it confirmed, moved forward, or canceled at all? Are you talking about... Wait, are you talking about the Helldivers mode being made by the Forge Falcons? Like the Forge version of that map? Or are you talking about like Tatanka? Okay, I have to go now, but it was a good stream because I go back. Hey, Delta, thank you very much for coming by, man. I really do appreciate it. And yeah, we'll catch you next time. Probably next Friday even. We'll wait and see. But again, thank you very much, Delta, for coming by and hanging out. Make sure you leave a like on the stream, comment to help algorithm things if you feel so inclined. I want better UI, expanded sandbox, unlimited game modes. I mean, like, they're such a strong... Like, Forge is such a strong tool. Forge and custom games are such a strong tool set within Halo that I would love to see there be something that really puts that up to the forefront of, like, that being, like, a main core experience of Halo. Because right now, what the experience of Forge really feels like within Halo Infinite is that you have all these forgers making incredible maps and game modes, and they get just kind of locked behind custom games, which is kind of like a niche thing. And I don't play custom games because I mainly just play to get through the operation pass, you know? And I feel like I'm playing custom games. I feel like I'm almost wasting my time, you know? If they could find a way to have like a server browser that be like the main experience, like I think Halo has a possibility of being like a Gmod type of standalone game, right? It basically is within Halo Infinite as well. Like, it's again, like, there's so many sub markets within Halo. Like, how do you optimize the engagement of it? Because like the custom game browser in Infinite doesn't really get utilized a whole lot. I think it's because, you know, progression gets tied behind those operation passes, and you get minimal XP gains now for playing custom games. Yeah, it's the Forge Falcons. The last thing I heard about the Forge Falcons, about the Helldivers mode, is that they're kind of like, it sounded like about 50 to 75% there. Let me type in Forge Falcons to see if it pops up. What their latest tweet was about this thing. Was it this? No, it's Undead. Which cool. It's cool that their mode's getting put into, or like Call of Duty Zombies mode's getting put into Infinite Matchmaking, which is sick. Let's see here. But they've even had articles written about their thing, which is so cool. Oh, they had a reveal trailer go out on the 30th. How did I not see this? Okay, so basically saying that this is your first look at the map for Helljumpers. This map is not final and is expected to receive new additions, changes, lighting changes, and balance throughout the development cycle. Helljumpers will launch in June, so next month. We are aiming for early June, but we'll push it back a few more weeks if needed. The gameplay trailer will be dropping in May to give you the first in-depth look into the gameplay and experience on a bigger scale, although we will be sharing small teases of gameplay throughout here and there, though. Please leave your thoughts about this whole thing right here. So this is what, like, I guess what the map is looking like right here. Pause the music real quick. Okay, so the one with like an urban environment kind of thing, kind of reminiscent of like New Mombasa, it looks like. Interesting choice of music when you're trying to mimic Helldivers. That's one thing, we haven't really had like an urban environment when it comes to Helldivers. That would be really interesting to play in that. That's one thing about Helldivers. A lot of the environments, like the actual geometry of the environments, can be very samey. Because basically you're playing like uninhabited planets with like rocky terrain, you know? Some with sand, some have trees. But for the most part, that kind of gets a little samey. Map looks huge though. I wonder how they're gonna do the respawn mechanic in this. I'm definitely gonna keep an eye on this, and whenever it does come out, we will definitely cover it on the channel here. Coming in June. Yeah, I mean, Helljumpers in Halo would be freaking sick. And so your Xbox players can finally play Helldivers. Halo Wars 3? I'll actually kind of talk about the earlier Ariel that I was saying, like I was kind of hoping that next Halo experience would be like a standalone FPS Halo Wars. Would be freaking cool. I think I'm going to go into one more topic here, guys, about recent news that has been going around about Game Pass and Call of Duty. A little bit of everything in between there. If I can find the article here real quick. So first of all, first time we heard anything about Call of Duty and Game Pass, because we kind of had this assumption that it was going to happen, right? Because we have Diablo 4 now that's on Game Pass. And I haven't had a chance to jump in and really play it. I definitely will when Season 4 comes in. I think it'll be a good time for me to jump in. Let's see if I can find... no, it's not, no, that's not this article. Which article we're looking at here? Is it this one? I think it's this one. I talked about it in my video yesterday. No. I know it's all from The Verge. Maybe it's under tech. No. Under more. So like a gaming section. Microsoft is probably under this. Oh my god, where is it? Let's type in Call of Duty. Okay, well basically what was happening, guys. Basically what was happening, and I brought this up in the previous video, I couldn't find it, whatever the link was, but apparently there were some internal discussions whether or not that Call of Duty would even come to Game Pass, which I find would be insane to think about. Because, I mean, I'm sure that was a point of discussion, right? And the kind of leaked information was like, oh, you know, they're talking about like some internal turmoil about Call of Duty coming to Game Pass in a way. But I'm sure that was probably more just like a discussion if they want to keep a traditional model with Call of Duty this cycle, or they want to put it on Game Pass, which I would think with Xbox buying into it, they're like, no, that's going on Game Pass. We need subscribers, you know, which that would be like the #1 way to boost subscribers. And recently it came out that Sarah Bond went to like this Bloomberg Tech interview talking about it. And one of the key takeaways from it was that she was talking, they actually brought up games coming to Game Pass. I think particularly, I think they mentioned Call of Duty, but like this little interview here, Sarah Bond kind of talks about like what they're looking to do with Game Pass and things like that moving forward, which I thought was very interesting.
Xbox itself's heritage is in console, and you know, the energy around the console right now is a little challenged. Many of the hardcore long-term customers are worried. They're worried about the release on other platforms. They're worried that that may indicate that Xbox is defocusing its own hardware. What do you say to them? How do you make them feel like Xbox is still for them?
Yeah, at first the worry that I see is happening across the industry, and I think is a lot of what we're seeing, just industry all up. But specific to core gamers, my focus has really been on engineering and building that next generation hardware experience that really taps in to their needs. I talked about this a little bit publicly a few months ago. I talked about how, you know, our focus is on delivering the biggest leap ever. And that's about really thinking through every aspect of what that hardware and what that experience delivers with the core gamer in mind. And that is about power and performance. That's absolutely a part of it. But it's also about the ability to be able to play all of the games. I mean, we have people who've been playing on Xbox for decades and invested thousands and thousands of dollars and hours with us, and to be able to take all of those games with them into the hardware of the future.
So she's basically saying there, like kind of what I actually talked about this in the previous video as well. So saying basically the next console that's going to come out, the next massive leap in hardware like they were talking about, it's going to have backwards compatibility in mind, right, with that release, which again is very important, right? But it sounds like they're kind of looking to do some kind of form of innovation when it comes to how you store that data in those games, right? Because that's going to be a lot of information to store, and maybe it won't be, maybe holding that game on that in that server space might not be financially viable. So then how do you make it so then people can still go back and buy those games, play those games while also it being a financially viable option for Microsoft to do that as well. We see this happen with The Crew recently with Ubisoft, right? Just taking it away from players. Like, no one's playing it. Just take it away from them. But yeah, kind of talking about like, yes, as an Xbox owner, bad news disappoints me. The same. Like even though my last Xbox I owned was an Xbox One, and I kind of stopped playing it ever since 2019 when MCC came to PC. That's kind of when I stopped playing on it. I never bought into a Series X because I was like, I want to upgrade my PC if anything, because all the games I want to play are on PC, except for some PlayStation games. But now those are coming to PC as well. But yeah, like even Matt said right here, it's like I'm not even an Xbox owner, and I completely agree with that worry. Like, yeah, because there's been so many major changes that Xbox has been doing with these acquisitions, seeing that there's sales and kind of like some conversations about like Phil Spencer even recognizing like, yeah, we're just stuck in third place, right? So how do we get a leg up on the competition when we're like basically permanently stuck in third place right now? Like the Series X was a pretty good console, right? Kind of did everything right. It was on par with the technology that was needed. It was a little tough to find, but I think it still was held back from just like all the negativity that came with the Xbox One, because that launch was disastrous. And they did a lot of things. Microsoft did a lot of things to correct those wrongs that they did, but like, coming in at a higher price point, mandatory online, having to have that Connect, which actually feel like it raised up. People were like, well, it raises the price because it's more hardware, right? And it's like gave a lot of stuff that gamers weren't really interested in, right? Like I can understand like trying to branch out to other markets and other types of media, but gaming just wasn't there at that point yet. It was starting to get to that point, and so they thought they could capitalize on it. But we were like, well, what about the video games? And Microsoft has been making some crazy changes, right, with their marketing plans and acquisitions. It's like, what's the future looking like here? And that's definitely something you need to take in consideration.
So one of the decisions I made when I came in and became president of Xbox was to establish a team dedicated to that, to game preservation and ensuring that future generations, future iterations, that you get to take those things with you forward. The next part of that is saying, okay, I get to bring those games with me. I'm invested in those games. I get an incredible high performance experience on my console, but also continuing our commitment to make sure that gamers can bring their games with them wherever they want to play. That my Xbox library is something that can go with me and that I can enjoy with others. So our long-term commitment to cross-play is part of that, and our commitment to cross-progression and cloud saves, so you can pick up on one device and you can play on another, is part of that. And also our investments in cloud gaming, which you referenced earlier. A lot of those who use cloud gaming are people who own a console. They're just, they want to play it on another device and go somewhere else. So that's the second piece.
Yeah, but I think even Sarah Bond mentioned this, like when a lot of this information was coming out, like the courtroom stuff was going out about Microsoft, that like majority of the use of xCloud were people who were installing the game on their console but wanted to play it right now. So they would start installing the game on your Xbox, then open up xCloud to start playing the game. And once the download finished, you go play on your console, kind of thing. And I think Sarah Bond mentioned that exactly in one of the reports, if I remember correctly. Of course, this was months ago. But I do think this is a really important thing, though. Having cloud saves, be able to cross progression against different platforms and hardware is a really important thing. It's a really nice feature. And it would be interesting to see how they kind of push forward with that.
And then the last piece is about Game Pass. We know our core users love Game Pass. Game Pass is a gaming subscription. You get a whole portfolio of games, but importantly, you get every single one of our games that we build day one in Game Pass. And the quality and the breadth of those games has only been going up over time, and you're going to see some more really big games going into Game Pass later this year.
From Activision's portfolio?
Across the whole slate. You're going to see some really amazing things. And keeping that as something that is really special for Xbox players is central for us.
That's totally makes sense, right? So I think that's like basically saying like, yeah, Call of Duty is coming to Game Pass right there. And that would make sense because that's what they did with all the Bethesda titles. And like I said earlier, we recently saw Diablo 4 come to Game Pass, right? Back in March, I think it was, right, when it first came in. Like, you can play, as long as you have Game Pass, you can play Diablo 4. So it wouldn't really make a whole lot of sense to start putting games like Diablo 4 on Game Pass, but then not Call of Duty. You know what I mean? I think this would be a huge way to increase your subscriber base. You know, as someone who is a subscriber to Game Pass, I do utilize it quite often. You know, don't forget also, you have a bunch of EA games that you can play through Game Pass as well. I think a lot of people overlook that fact as well. They're usually more like timed releases that maybe like a year after the initial release where people buy into the game. Then it comes to Game Pass kind of thing. That's what, at least what happened with like Battlefield 2042. And that's how I enjoyed Battlefield 2042 is through Game Pass. And so I think there's a lot of really great things that Game Pass can do. And I'd be absolutely shocked if Call of Duty, like the biggest title that Activision, but one of the biggest titles that Activision Blizzard make to come to the game, that like, why would that not come to Game Pass, you know? But there was internal discussions whether or not it should. And I think it just kind of comes with just like, hey, this is what we've been traditionally doing. Do you still want to keep that? And then probably Xbox be like, no, that goes on Game Pass. And then probably Activision be like, yeah, but that could be detrimental to sales and stuff like that. And the Xbox being like, well, they have indirect sales that come in through Game Pass kind of thing. Like I said, no one besides Microsoft knows how Game Pass really works. You know, how does Microsoft measure success on Game Pass, right? You know, how does Ninja Theory get a cut, you know, of funding? Does just like how does, you know, how will Activision get a cut of Game Pass, you know? Is it time played? Is it in total installs? Is it population, like reviews? Just whatever Microsoft feels you deserve, you know? No one knows. And that's kind of one of the biggest novelties with Game Pass. Is that just the general public just doesn't know. Like traditionally, you know, you buy the game, they get money for it. It makes sense to everybody, right? But I'm sure like, yeah, but it kind of goes along the same thing as with like Netflix, right? You just buy that subscription and they just keep releasing shows and movies and stand-up specials and stuff like that. Somehow someone's making enough money in the right place to where it's a good choice for development to make those shows, make those movies. And they're trying to do that same thing with gaming. And so for myself, as a Game Pass subscriber, you know, personally, I was very invested seeing Activision King Blizzard being added into Game Pass. And I think it would just make sense, right? It would just make sense to be added in there. I'm curious if they'll dig a little deeper of saying like if Call of Duty specifically gets added in. Oh, I just ended. Wait, what? There was like that much time left.
Portfolio of games, but importantly, you get every single one of our games that we build day one in Game Pass. And the quality and the breadth of those games has only been going up over time, and you're going to see some more really big games going into Game Pass later this year.
From Activision's portfolio?
Across the whole slate, you're going to see some really amazing things. And keeping that as something that is really special for Xbox players is essential.
Exactly, yeah. So, like, it's happening. Game Pass is going to just freaking... The amount of subscribers for Game Pass is going to blow up once Call of Duty hits that, which totally makes sense, right? Those bundles were dope. Yeah, plus you get like little like extra bonuses for being like a Game Pass Ultimate member and stuff like that. But like I've used Game Pass as well to play. Like I used it to play Fallout 76. Yeah, I played it, didn't really care for it, and I dropped it. I've used it to play Flight Simulator, which I love that game. I've used it to play Battlefield 2042. I only actually use it to play Halo because I actually have Halo on Steam. But what else? Like I feel like I could just try a game, and if it doesn't work for me, then I just jump off and play. Like Hi-Fi Rush was a really good game, but they're making the fact that they canceled it. Yeah, it's exactly like then the worst part about it was that. I talked about this in my last video as well with that recent town hall with Matt Booty. Talking about, like, what was it? Saying that they need more studios, like, they need more games that give them rewards, right? Let me find up here. Xbox, more games like Hi-Fi Rush. Yeah, like this right here. where it says, Microsoft says it needs more games like Hi-Fi Rush the day after killing the studio. Specifically mentioning, this is what specifically mentioned here, saying we need smaller games that give us prestige and awards. Which, like, yeah, that would make sense. But when I hear that statement from an executive, what I hear is, we need games that are just as popular as our big budget games, but at a smaller budget. So can you guys just do better for us, please? Thanks. You know, with less money. Make it so we don't have to spend as much money to make great games. like, bruh. It's mind blowing that like the execs like come out to say that kind of stuff. But yeah, I brought that up in my last video anyways. The corporate brain rise at an alarmingly high level. That's so true. But you know, all of us normies out here, our entire future and future happiness and life success depends on this corporate brain rot getting what they want. We are beholden to the shareholders. To the people who can afford shares are beholden to the shareholders. But yeah, like I'm definitely looking forward to the next Call of Duty game coming out on Game Pass. I will be playing it, jumping in and experiencing it. I would love to see all the previous games as well come to Game Pass. I would love to like be able to play Black Ops 1 again. Because I want to buy it. That would suck. Like I just want to jump in and play for like the member berries and then just leave, you know? I don't want to like invest my like $50 into playing a game that has not price dropped in 20 years or 15 years. I hope Gears and Halo won't die because of these layouts. Well, from the rumors that we've heard that there is a new Gears game in the works and it's going to be announced at the Xbox Showcase. All signs point to a new Gears game, or at least new Gears experience in some capacity. And we know that Halo is currently in development of a new experience as well. That's what my last video I talked about, saying like the reason why 343 survived the recent layoff, right? That just went live or just happened to Xbox Gaming. Is because, like with Arcane Austin and Tango Gameworks, they were kind of, you know, Jason Schreier said that they were kind of just like at the wrong place at the wrong time kind of thing is why they got shut down. Because Arcane Austin, like they were mainly working on developing the DLC for, mainly working on the DLC coming for Redfall and trying to update the game with like a offline mode and stuff like that and try to make the game better. But this is like, I think even if they did change all that stuff, it just no one would really care. You know, it just they wouldn't see the worth of that investment in time. So I can see Arcane Austin getting shut down, and probably the reason why Tango Gameworks got shut down is probably because they just released Hi-Fi Rush, right? And so I'm sure they have some other projects that were just probably like pre-production work area, and so like probably was just like the wrong time, you know, the wrong place at the wrong time, where it's like, before they get too invested, like beyond like the point of no return when it comes to developing on a game, to that they could just shut down that studio also to save some costs. That's what my assumption when I hear Jason Schreier say they were kind of just at the wrong place at the wrong time, bad timing kind of thing for those guys. And since 343 is currently very much in pre-production of the next Halo experience, they have been since 2023 or 2022 actually, as we've seen from LinkedIn profiles. Again, I talked about this all in my last video. Which you all should definitely go like and subscribe to that video. All right, algorithm pushes. Watch the whole thing for the algorithm and engagement. All right, don't just go click on the Halo stuff. Right, watch the whole thing. It's worth watching. Right. Well, like yeah, I think it's kind of that's what it sounded like to me when it came to that whole process of who got cut. You know. Yeah, I don't know about Roundhouse. Gameworks, right? Roundhouse Games and whatever the other studio was. I never really know much about those guys. It's just like that Tango closed, but so many are overreacting by saying Xbox is dead. PlayStation has had 4 closures since 2020. Take-Two closed 2 studios this month, etc. Yeah, like yeah. No, if anyone says Xbox is dead, they're doing it so that you can click on the video. That's the sole reason why. And, you know, it will get clicks. And that's why people do it. You know, I saw a video 6 years ago saying Fortnite is dying. And I'm like, sure, dude. Yeah, that's happening. You know, like that's clearly not. I think he was wrong. And the whole video, I remember watching the video because it kept popping up in my feed like, you need to watch this video, Kevin. And I'm like, fine, I'll watch it. And it's just a guy just ranting about like all the stuff that actually genuinely does suck about Fortnite. And like the reason why I don't play it. But it's like Fortnite's dying because of like Bloom and the build mechanics are too overpowered. And just like, it's just a guy ranting about like why he doesn't like Halo. Or why he doesn't like Fortnite. While Epic over there is laughing, eating grapes, sitting on their pile of gold coins shaped in a lavish throne, being like, yes, oh, we're dying, yes. You know, it's like, you just gotta look at that stuff and just be like, okay, yeah, you're just doing it for the views, man. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Right now, people are jumping on the bandwagon of hating on Xbox. I just kind of view it as like, yeah, it's business. It doesn't make sense for Tango Gameworks, right? Especially when they praised that game so much for Hi-Fi Rush. You had something good right there. If you release Hi-Fi Rush 2, people would definitely love that game and play it. But to shut it down just feels so odd. I didn't play the game because I'm not really much into the rhythm game stuff. But people seem to enjoy it. And it's overwhelmingly approved, like won awards and stuff like that. Was your second game of the year behind Baldur's Gate 3? I mean, yeah, for how good the game is from whatever everyone's talked about, I probably would end up enjoying the game. But just getting over that hump of just knowing that it's a rhythm game would just make me go like, eh. Oh, I bet you, Matt. I bet you. I'm just trying to get through my games right now that I'm already playing. Like I'm trying to get through Fallout right now. I need to download some mods on that because from what I've seen some mods, I'm like, okay, I want that. I need to catch up with Helldivers. I played some Helldivers for the first time like last night in like a month and a half. And I was like, man, I forgot how much fun this game is. And then I still need to finish up Hogwarts Legacy. Still need to finish that game. So when I finish that game, I want to play Baldur's Gate 3. But then now I see like Senua's Saga coming out, right, on the 21st. Now I'm like, should I just play the first one and the second one? Because they're both like, what, 7 and 10 hour long games? I'm like, I can do that. And I kind of want to play those now. There's too many good games, and I don't have enough time for it, man. But at least I got some more hours with that job, so it's really, again, it's like replying to a text message like what was a rhythm game even? Well, it's kind of like a game where like, well, you can play it however you want. Like you don't actually have to play within the rhythm of the music, if I understand this correctly. But you do bonus damage and do some extra abilities if you sync up your actions along with like the music, right? There was one game I saw people were like, oh, Kevin, you need to play this. You're a metal fan. You absolutely need to play this game. And even one of my favorite artists, Matt Hafey, made a song for the game too. Let's see what I'm talking about here. Let's see, like metal music, like rhythm game. Hellsinger, Metal Hellsinger, this game right here. People are like, Kevin, you need to play this game. It's metal music and a video game. I mean, the music is pretty sick, though. Man, it looks awesome. It's like, like, it sounds freaking awesome, right? Kind of almost looks like Doom, but like if Doom was a rhythm game, you know? That's kind of what it looks like to me. Yep, that's my speed. But yeah, like overwhelmingly positive. Overall reviews 96% positive. Very positive as of recently. 130, but it's 133 reviews. That's kind of whatever. You can play a demo of it. Oh, look at that. That's kind of cool. That was actually the pitch of the game, Doom, but with a rhythm game. I know that one of my favorite musicians, Matt Heafy, made a song for it, right? Heafy, Metal Hellsinger. Did he do a live version of it? If he did, oh, he did do a live version of it. This is devastation. That's kind of sick.
For residency right now. Wish me luck. Grammarly has again been a lifesaver with my application.
Cool. Yeah, that's so fun. Dude, I love Trivium.
Vergeht's! Ich bin Matt.
This was
It's time to
BlizzCon,
fucking
right?
move, my friends. I want to see some
Or
circles.
TwitchCon
I wanna
or
see some
something?
fucking jumping, some fucking heads banging, all right? We're doing this shit.
Gosh, at the Head Trip Edition. Oh yeah, so good.
Is everyone
That whole
having a good time
album, Ascendancy, is amazing. Their next album, The Crusade, was great. Shogun was god tier, S tier metal album.
Metal show. So thank you so much, Hellsinger. Thank you, Fun
And then
Time.
like
It's a fucking
The Sin in
honor,
the
it's a fucking
Sentence,
pleasure. I need you all fucking
what
sweating
what
now.
the
We're
Dead
all
Men
running
Say,
in circles,
and
we're fucking jumping, we're fucking headbanging.
whatever,
Let's do this shit right, okay?
Court of the Dragon, were all really good albums. Actually, hang on, I got a call from my wife. Hang on.
Time to start moving, my friends. Run your fucking ass! I don't see you moving! Let's go, motherfuckers! Yeah! Keep it coming! When all said and all done, a dying sun in front of me. When all said and all done, bright colors crack and fade to gray. A vow of devotion, it crumbles into drifting ash. Do you feel what I feel? This devastation seems to comfort me. Let this body strike, let this fire burst into flame. A concentration of my blood, it consumes me and burns. Is it still the same for you? It's your ceremony in me. I'm holding on. Let this body break. Let this scorching last. It's all beyond. This is. It's all beyond. Let's go. The devastation feels like home. Keep fucking moving. This black moon, they choose to follow despite our best belief. Oblivion, redemption, conflagration tears the soul apart. My God, these hollow eyes can see. My God, the lies that should not be. You always spoke the truth, but never knew it all. Just like a fade away. Let this body strike. Let the spiral burst it. Pick me up. The desolation of my mind. It consumes me and burns. Let it still the same for you. Is the ceremony in vain? holding on. Let this body break. Let this scorching laugh. It's all beyond resistance. Let's see you fucking move in that pit, hell. Come on. Games come, let's do this shit. Take all of you. Let it follow spread. Run annihilate. Run. No fun. No limits that's free. Running to the tank. Revive. But never knew it all. Never knew it all. So you feel what I feel. Right here, this life upside down. Scream for me, my friends. That's what I'm talking about. I'm still here, holding on. Let this body break. Let this scorching last. It's all beyond the set. Holding on. Let this body break. Let this scorching last. It's all beyond the set. It's all beyond that's you. The devastation feels like home. This devastation feels like home. Dankeschön, bis bald.
Actually, how do I sign that?
All right, thanks for waiting there, guys. My wife was having some work drama that she just kind of needed to vent off a little bit right there, but it's all good though. Am I muted? No, I'm not muted. Well, now I'm not. Yeah, not anymore. Sorry. If it looked like I was talking, it's because I muted my mic to talk to my wife on the phone. Relatable, yeah. Is this how? Please, you can't. Please, like. Wait, Sam, please tell me you were joking about the Volbeat thing. Like, please tell me that's a joke, right? Like, there's no way Womp doesn't see Matt Hafey and go like, is that Volbeat? Funny thing is, I actually saw Trivium open up for Volbeat up here in Seattle, like back in 2015 or 16 or 14 or something like that. Is this Volbeat? The cool thing was, and also from that show too, like I posted like a picture on Instagram, and I tagged Trivium, and then they took my picture from Instagram and put it up on their Instagram. And I was like, I'm famous. I'm shocked my wife said she likes Devil's Bleeding Crown and started listening to them ever since. I've been trying to get my wife to get into metal. She cannot get over the scream vocals. She can't get over it. It's a hard barrier on that one. I struggle with it to this day. But yeah. But anyways, guys, you know what? I think I'm actually kind of wrap up the stream. We talked about Halo. We talked about Helldivers. We talked about Call of Duty, Game Pass, and all that kind of stuff. I'll chop up this live stream to kind of make it into some videos I'll probably put out throughout the next couple days here. Jeez, old man of I feel you on the age right there for sure. Yeah, if you guys see anything cool that you think would be cool to kind of chat about next live stream or something like that, maybe I could do like these weekly roundups or something like that would be kind of cool. But until then, guys, I think we're just gonna call it a night. We talked about everything I'm about to talk about on the stream so far, and I'll catch you guys all next time. Thank you all for coming by. Again, if you're new to the channel, don't forget to tap like, follow, subscribe if you can on YouTube. Memberships on YouTube if you're available. I think they're as low as $9.99 a month. You know. Or if you have Twitch Prime, feel free to help support the channel there if you can. But of course, you guys, the fact you could come by here and just hang out and chat, much more than appreciated. I wouldn't do this without you guys. You guys, or I couldn't and wouldn't be able to do this without you guys. Thank you all so much for your time coming out. Just thousands of channels, things you can do online. It's like you come here. I really do appreciate it. But yeah, guys, thank you all so much for coming by, and catch you all on the next one. Peace out. Love.